This has been Brode, and you're watching Born to be Wild.
Greeting, traveler.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, Nate Wolf. Joining me, as always, a couple of my favorite people. So, Mr. Mike Lowe, how you doing tonight?
Yo, I'm doing fantastic. Tonight's gonna be lit.
Yeah, I'm real excited. And Hydra, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm super stoked. We got so much to talk about, and I'm just really happy to be here and can't wait to get going.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so I'm super excited to announce our special guest for tonight. So we've got with us consistent and longtime top Wild legend, streamer, YouTuber, content creator, and coach. It's Jack. Jack, welcome to the show.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Thank you. Thank you
Welcome.
for having me.
Yes, welcome.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's good to have you. So I will say, like, I've been following you for probably years. That sounds creepier than it actually is, but but I know, like, recently you've kind of like popped up more on the scene as far as like consistent streaming and coaching and your YouTube channel and everything. So I'm really excited. It's always good when we've got people in the Wild community who are just have a good presence, and so I'm just really excited to have you. So, hey, for those of our listeners or people watching the show live or on YouTube, can you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, how you started playing Hearthstone, or anything about yourself that you want to share?
Yeah, sure. I think my Hearthstone origin story is not like many of the other, perhaps, like, top players, I suppose. So I played a lot of Overwatch, right? I was a huge Overwatch player, and I played it. I've always played FPS games. That's been my thing. You know, I'm pretty good at them. I was just shy of master in Overwatch. Not my best game, but I had a lot of fun playing it. And you know, one day I was super bored. I didn't want to play Overwatch. I didn't have friends online at the time, and Hearthstone was the next game over in the Blizzard client. And so I said, you know, card game that I had played Magic, like, just in person very casually with friends before. They'd bring me their deck, I'd play it. So I said, okay, you know, I'll try it out.
Oh,
And at
yeah, this is like
first
magic on crack.
I was like, this is kind of cringe, you know. This is like a children's game. But you know, I was kind of like off put by like how creepy and like weird Millhouse Mana Storm was. I was like, what am I playing? But I just kept playing it for whatever reason, you know. I really liked it, and eventually I played it enough to where I got better at it than all of those other games that I'd played for so long, and it became my main game eventually.
Did you get to the point where Millhouse Manastorm pyroblasts you?
In the tutorial, does that happen?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think I made it that far. I think I picked up on it enough not to be pyroblasted.
I only learned about that recently. Somebody mentioned it on like a different show or something like that, and so I started a new account just to see if it was true, and yeah, it's true.
If I did, I blocked it out for sure.
Just you wait till I've got 10 mana.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, so a lot of times we will ask people who are on the show, how did you come up with your username? And I think you, kind of like me and Mike, it's like, hey, that's just my name, right? It's very creative. But I see yours has it's a bunch of initials, right? So does that stand for anything special, or?
Yeah, so it's actually just my initials and then skate. When I was in 6th grade, my mom made me an email. She made me a Gmail, so I just doxed myself there because y'all can do the math. But you know, she just made me an email, and that was that. So I've used that username ever since. I've never wanted to change it because it's just my username on everything. It doesn't mean anything. People often think that it's junior something. It's not, but I really don't mind. I don't expect anyone to understand what it is, so all the various incorrect pronunciations are
Yeah.
no problem. I find them pretty entertaining. One streamer that I host on occasion still thinks I'm junior H skate, which I like
Junior
that.
H
I like the sound of
skates.
that. Honestly, I don't
Here's the
mind
real
it.
question: do you skateboard?
I did skateboard a lot at the time.
Yeah.
I could still
Okay.
skateboard now. Like if I wanted, I would have no problem using it as a method of transportation. But I think a lot of the finer technical details would
Do
be
a
gone by now.
kickflip.
I could never do a kickflip, even when I was skateboarding a lot. You know, it was always on, you know, ramps and verts, stuff like that. Never
Oh, that's the best.
never any ground tricks. I think I was too small to
Yeah,
to do anything.
You're that young, your legs are too short to do the flip trick.
And I didn't, and they might still be too short now. Let's be honest. But I didn't want to get hurt either. It's much easier to not get hurt doing the other stuff. I was always super scared and very concerned for other people's like disregard for their safety while skateboarding. I got hurt and I didn't like it, so I was always padded out. And the funny thing is people had the impression that like you don't wear pads because people will make fun of you, but everybody was like, dude, that guy's smart. Look at how smart that guy is. And it's true. It's true. Nobody was ever rude to me because I wore pads. I was just the person who didn't get hurt.
See, that's the thing. There's a weird difference between being a street skater. Like if you're a street skater and you're wearing pads, everybody laughs at you. But if you're doing ramp skating, like it's totally normal to wear a helmet and pads. So like
And I
you
can think of
usually
times
don't get made fun of for that.
I can think of times where I went up on a ramp and fell on my head, and I'm not sure that I wouldn't have died if I wasn't wearing a helmet.
Oh man.
There you go.
But I was fine. I was fine. I remember, I think my dad was watching me one notable time in which I just fell very far onto my head, and he was like, "Are you fine?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." I quit for the day, but
Wow.
and now I'm a Hearthstone pro instead of a Magic pro.
That's awesome. So when you got into Overwatch, was that the first Blizzard game you played, or did you play any other ones before? Or was it just first-person shooters that got you into Overwatch?
Yeah, it was just first-person shooters, and Overwatch was just the up-and-coming game. I think before that it was PUBG and CS:GO.
Yeah.
I was much better at PUBG than I think the other games. I was like leaderboard player. I had my own way of playing. There's like an old clip up on my channel that I'm still very proud of that has like 10 views of me of me beating a 4-person squad in an open field in PUBG to win the game.
Oh.
It's really good. I encourage people to go to my oldest videos and check it out because I'm still proud of that one. But always an FPS player, but I think just the strategy appealed to me. I love all strategy games, right? Whether it's board games in person, I love board games. I played a ton of chess when I was in high school.
Ooh, okay.
So anything strategy I found super compelling, and FPS games absolutely have that. PUBG more so than maybe like Overwatch in terms of individual strategy, and so Hearthstone, yeah, that definitely appealed to me.
Hey, so you said you love board games. Question: This might move your needle emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the kind of person to finish Monopoly all the way through, or are you jumping out halfway in the game?
I finish and I play by the rules, and I make sure everybody else plays by the rules too.
I like that.
We do it with auctions, though.
Yep.
Though one thing that I used to do is we used to put all the money in free parking, knowing it wasn't part of the rules, but for fun. Now $50 max, $50 just for fun. But anything beyond that, it breaks the game. And I'll tell you what, I am the best Monopoly player. You guys have no idea.
Ooh,
I've been trying to bait Corbett into playing the new Monopoly game with me on stream.
Yeah.
I'm a wheeling dealer. I'll make you think you just got the best deal in the whole world. You come around the board and you're bankrupt.
How many players is it?
I think it's 8.
It's like up to
Up
8
to
or
8,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, I love Monopoly.
Have you
I know
have you used virtual virtual board game or whatever it's called at all?
Oh,
Or virtual tabletop?
simulator?
Yeah.
Tabletop simulator. Yeah, I actually played me and my friends who I used to live in North Idaho and now I live in Phoenix, but a bunch of friends that I had in North Idaho, we did a virtual poker night during when like lockdowns were, more prevalent than they are now.
Yeah.
So we did a virtual poker night and it went really seamlessly. Like we played a lot more poker than we would have got done in person. And
Wow.
it didn't feel too weird after a while. Like it felt like we were all hanging out at a table.
Yeah.
And just being able to like click to shuffle and click to deal was the coolest thing. I was like, I don't know why we meet in person. Or why
Oh, that's funny. Have you heard of a game called Bang?
Never.
Oh God, I gotta send it to you. It's so fun. It's a tabletop, but essentially,
Sounds fun.
so here's the premise, right? It's up, I think minimum 4 players, up to 8, but essentially, one person is the sheriff, and everybody knows who the sheriff is, and then all of the other players, their roles are hidden, and you can either be a renegade or a band, like the renegade, like a bandit or something, or like a sheriff deputy, but nobody knows. Oh, that is the infamous cat. Hold on.
Oh.
What's the cat's name?
Longhouse.
Longhouse. Is it a boy or a girl?
A boy.
That's a boy name. Yeah. Okay. He is very handsome and a little chubby. I love
Thank
it.
you. He's on diet food, so it took us a while, but we finally found something that'll help him drop the pounds without making my life a living hell. So
He looks so happy. I have 2
He's,
cats. I love cats.
He's putting up with me right now, but he's a good boy for doing it. So
That's
Aw.
good.
Oh, he's so cute. All right. So here's so everybody knows who the sheriff is, but all the other roles are hidden. And everybody has different goals, right? The outlaws want to kill the sheriff. The renegade wants to be the new sheriff, so he wants to kill everybody else. And then the deputies want to protect the sheriff, but everybody's roles are hidden. And so when you start out the game, there's this big stack. It's all cards. You start out with this stack of cards, and everybody chooses a character. And the character has like special abilities. It's like, hey, when you get shot, you can draw a card. When you get shot, you can roll the dice, or you can flip a card and it might miss. Or there's stuff like that. Or there's one, if a character dies, you get to take their cards. God, it's really fun. I don't know. We should. I need to see if it's available on Tabletop Simulator, but it's so fun.
They should make an Among Us mode with all those.
It's the same idea, right? Where it's like, everybody's trying to kill everybody else, but you don't really know why.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Sounds fun.
it's very fun. If it's available on Tabletop Simulator, I will quit Hearthstone and just play that all the time. I'm just joking, but it's good. It's good. So Jack, I have a question for you. You are much more successful at YouTube than we are. So how do we what is the secret to your success as far as like putting out content goes? Is it is it consistency? Do you just bait people with keywords, or what is it?
I'm so glad you asked, because I can literally monopolize the entire rest of the podcast, telling you exactly what you need to do. And the fact that you asked, I am so excited, because I offer this information unsolicited to every person I can, no matter what. I will tell anyone and everyone this advice, and nobody listens. And the fact that you asked means that you're at least mildly interested in what I have to say.
I'm interested, and I know Raffle from way back when we were doing Into the Wild, and we had him on a few times, and this was before he like exploded huge, and he was just a little streamer and playing some meme decks. And then the other day I look over at his channel and there's 8 bazillion subscribers, and he posts a video yesterday and it gets 30,000 views. I'm like, holy crap, what happened? And so I'm sure there's a science behind it. I just don't know what it is. So yes, please.
Yes.
I would love to be enlightened by this.
Okay, so I will give you specific advice relating to your channel, and some of this is going to be like super frank, but I promise you, it's none of this is a judgment of your content. It's just going to be like what works on YouTube and what doesn't. Like some things explicitly work, and some things explicitly do not work.
Yeah.
And I don't know everything. Like that should be said because sometimes I will put a ton of work into a video. I'll title it perfect, like I don't want to change a word, and it will bomb. Like nobody will watch it compared to my other ones. So I'm constantly reminded all the time that I don't know anything, but I know a couple things. So the first thing I would say is that the thing that you need to be actively doing is every time you click on a YouTube video, look at that title and ask what made me click on this video. So if I go to my YouTube homepage right now, I curate my YouTube homepage like very carefully. I say I'm not interested in this video. I like this video, and yet, like you'll still see that very significantly that the videos that get recommended to you are ones that you want to click on. And if I look through here, you'll see some titles that really make you want to click and some that don't. So if you click on like especially a Hearthstone video, make note of that. Your titles have to be very clickable, and they have to be something that if I don't know you, I have no idea who you are, I click on it anyway. So one thing that I've seen for a lot of small channels is they'll be like, I can't believe this happened to me. Well, if you're Casey Neistat, people are going to click on that. But if you're, 20 subscriber, people don't care what happened to you. It could be the most interesting thing in the world, but I have no idea who you are, so it doesn't compel me to click. So you have to make titles that are very clickable and appealing to a new audience. Like you should never make a video that only appeals to your current audience unless you have like a strong desire. You're like, I have to make this video. And the other thing is that in terms of consistent uploads, like yes, uploading very consistently is good. But you can't have any duds. It's more important to upload banger after banger than to upload consistently. There are a lot of channels that started within the past couple years, but the first video they uploaded was a banger, and the second video they uploaded, another banger, and the third video they uploaded, another banger, and so they just keep going. And YouTube says, every time I recommend this to new people, they keep clicking. So it does it, right? Like they do what gives them the most watch time and clicks. YouTube will just automatically prioritize that. So making good videos is actually something that the YouTube algorithm wants you to do. And you should make good videos, but also like make people who don't know about them click. So if you have a video and you're like, I don't think too many people are going to watch this, and you don't have a great title for it, don't upload it. It will do more harm for your channel than good by uploading that video. Because if you're thinking like, oh, maybe one new subscriber I'll get out of this video, true, but on the next video, YouTube might show it to 20 new less people because they know that people aren't clicking on these videos very much. So
that's brutal. Oh my God.
It's brutal, but like, and so that's why I'm saying like, I don't mean this as like a judgment on anyone's content, because I think that YouTube shouldn't be so mean about you uploading a video that didn't do too well, because it hurts enough for me to see that a video was like my worst performing of my last 10, but it also hurts more to know that now my next video has to be even better. Otherwise I'm going to start like, falling off on YouTube slowly.
It's not personal though. It's a computer, like it's an algorithm, like you said, It's really interesting though. Okay.
So like when I'm looking at your channel, you want to stick with what works. So if you have a video that's doing really well, do it again. If you tapped into something with a video, come back to that, because that's valuable. That's going to teach you something.
No, I mean, it's interesting that you bring that up, right? Because I think like with podcasting, we found that it was very important to be consistent, right? At least we do the show every Friday at 6 p.m. We release the audio and the video every Saturday morning, like clockwork, and people can tune in. They know when it's at, right? And so the initial thought was, hey, does this translate to YouTube? Like, do I want consistent content? And then we start seeing the views like, yeah, I'm making content, but like, does anyone want to watch this? Like playing through the Book of Heroes type stuff. Like nobody really cares, honestly. Like we get like 6, 10, 15 views or something. Yeah. And then last week I got the bug to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a Q block video. And we'll play through the Q block and I'll explain all my moves and everything. And like, just bam, here's, whatever it is, 200 views. And and that's small for a big time person, but for like smaller channel, we noticed a dynamic shift from the normal content. And so it was like, oh, clearly this works versus the other stuff. So like, let's make more of that, right?
Yeah. And so another thing, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. So just cut me off and we can move this to non-podcast talk at some point if you feel like it wouldn't be interesting enough for the viewers. But
I feel like you're a life coach too, though. This is pretty great.
Yeah. So
yeah, keep talking. Good.
Okay, sure. So another thing is a lot of people are super concerned about like keywords. Keywords is a big deal, and so I see that a lot of your videos start with Wild Hearthstone, which is it's good. It's thinking the right sort of thing. But the truth is that anything in your title is going to get indexed regardless. So your title needs to lead with the thing that pulls people in. And if your title is so good that it pulls people in without having to say Wild Hearthstone, then don't put Wild Hearthstone in. That sometimes if you look at the videos that blow up on YouTube, right? The videos that do 10 times the amount of viewers as you have subscribers, those are the videos that have the perfect title, that don't have a word extra. I think one good example of this, and he admitted to it himself, was Veritasium. He had one video that did like 20, 30 million views this year, and it was him sitting on top of a boat surrounded by these black shade balls on top of like the LA reservoir, and it looks crazy. It looks insane. And the title is, why is this like, it's like, why are there 20 million balls on this reservoir or something like that? And you're like, what? Why are there 20 million balls? Everybody who sees that has to know. So the best type of title is a title that promises that you will learn something, but it doesn't tell you what you're going to learn. This is something that happens really subtly, but there are a lot of videos on YouTube where inexperienced creators will give away the video in the title. So I can do this on my homepage as well. I can show you a video that follows this pattern and doesn't follow this pattern. So like Solemn has a video that has 87,000 views from a month ago. The title is Hearthstone is not what it used to be. Okay. Sure, Hearthstone is not what it used to be, but what do you mean, Solemn?
Yeah, why? Why is it different?
Click. So the best titles, and this is the most simple way to do it, but there are many forms of it, is just to ask a question that you literally answer in the video. There are also like metaphorical questions, right? It doesn't have, like, you don't have to make every title end in a question mark. That would be like a weird repertoire for a channel. But there are, I'm trying to find some titles that are perfectly representative on mine. And, oh, okay. So here's one channel that actually does a perfect job of it, and I'm recommended this channel, and I know about it even though I'm not subscribed. And so it's Internet Shaquille is the name of the channel. And I think his most popular video of all time, it's maybe the best title ever because it's so subtle. It doesn't seem like it's clickbait, but it works. And that is, why are restaurant burritos better than homemade? And you're like,
I think I found the name of this episode.
Sure, yeah. I mean, but that's the exact sort of thing that works. And one thing that I do is I don't keep the titles to myself, right? One thing that I have that's really benefited me is I have a homie who doesn't even play Hearthstone. And sometimes if I can't get a title, I will send it to him and he will tell me what the title needs to be. He's also a master in communication, so that helps too. But but get yourself a homie who can tell you what the title should be. And it could be someone who plays Hearthstone. It could be someone who doesn't play Hearthstone. And so one thing that I had recently is I had a video that I knew there was a good title for somewhere, and I didn't have it. It was where I played, I think, a 25 legendary Reno mage in top 100, and I played 4 games and I won 3, and the one loss I conceded on 1 because it was quest mage. So so it was good footage. I knew that it was inherently kind of interesting, but that the title would make or break it. And so I sent that information that I told you guys to my friend, and I told him, yeah, I think the deck would cost about $500 if you took the packs and made it, which is true, by the way. Someone in my comments said it wasn't true, so I did the math. It is true. Anyway, so I sent it to him, and he said, how many wins can a $500 deck buy?
I saw that. That's where that came from.
Oh.
And it's so good that you guys got recommended it too, because it's a good title. It's a good title. And
yeah. So you said 500. I was like, oh, he's going to talk about that video. Yeah.
Yep. And
Nice.
so that one was good. And then sometimes like you can lean into the irony of a clickbait title, and people don't really care. You know, one YouTuber that's really bad, and I mentioned him already, is Casey Neistat. If you follow him, his titles just are clickbait. That's kind of the YouTube meta, and people don't want to admit it, and other people are scared to do it. But at the end of the day, YouTube viewers understand. They don't care. And you can even tell them straight up, you're like, this is what I have to do to compete with everybody. And I really don't get too many complaints as long as people know what the video is going to be about. That's one thing that you have to accurately represent in the title, is some semblance of what the video is going to be about, so that people know whether or not they want to click on it, which is fair. I think that's fair, because I've had videos that were like not very clear about what it is, and people click, but you don't get very good watch time. And if people don't stick around, the video will not do well. It doesn't matter if they click. It has to be a good video that keeps them engaged. So like one thing that I did recently is I did a video, one simple trick to get better at Hearthstone. And it's just a video of me. I think you saw it, Mike. I think you said some positive words about it. But it's just me walking around in my backyard talking about how to mulligan better.
With the airplanes.
Yes, with the airplanes. There was like 10 in 5 minutes. And, you know, I didn't feel like filming in my bedroom. I wanted to get out and try something new. And so I did that. And the title it kind of leans into the irony of clickbait, but it works. You know, it tells you what you're going to get.
Made me watch it.
It promises, but it also convinces you to click. And so I think if I could summarize like the most important stuff down to like a couple sentences, it's prioritize watch time and click-through rate at all costs. Whatever you have to do to get watch time and click-through rate, those are the only metrics that matter. Make titles that draw people in, but don't give away the whole point of the video. Otherwise, people will feel satisfied not having clicked.
Yeah.
They'll feel satisfied that they know the content of the video without having clicked on it, because that's just the way our brains work. We draw the conclusions. We know what it's going to say.
It's so counterintuitive, Jack, because like
you want to tell people everything.
Well, and so I don't know, like I went to law school, right? And one of the things that they push through our brain like over and over is take some complicated thing and like simplify it in the easiest possible way. Or, you know, I'd have professors always tell me, don't give me a wall of words. Don't tell me in 10 pages what you could tell me in 3. Like,
yes.
And so when a lot of times I'll do these titles and I'm saying like, hey, this is Jaina Book of Spells chapter 1, like playthrough, you know, it's like, it's extremely clear what it is. But like, I totally see it. Like, can you beat this terrible boss, you know, or or secret tricks that you won't see elsewhere, you know?
And the thing is, you're going to realize that the first time you try and do it, you're going to say, this is impossible. I can't possibly make a title that people will click on. And it actually shapes your content. For better or worse, if you want to grow on YouTube, your content is shaped around creating clickable and watchable content. And that's just the game. So a lot of people aren't willing to do what it takes. I've told
Yeah.
a lot of people, and they simply don't want to go through all of the effort to grow. And I don't think there's anything special about what I do, right? A lot of my videos, and I tell my viewers this, are unexceptional. Not the word I would use, but unexceptional is the word I'll use here. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that because I give them good titles. I give them clickable thumbnails. For me, I've just found bright, colorful text works just fine. You know, I can put a lot of effort into a thumbnail, but if bright, colorful text gets the job done, I'd rather make my thumbnail in 30 seconds than 30 minutes.
Yep.
So, yeah, it really is about understanding what works and then like prioritizing to do what works. And I think the one thing that I wanted to add to my short list of things that you have to do to grow is don't upload any bad videos. Only bangers. Only bangers is the way that I would put it succinctly. One thing that you have probably done yourself if you spend a lot of time on YouTube is you found a new channel that you liked and then you clicked through their videos watching video after video. Well, YouTube only does that if all of your videos are clickable, right? Because there's a lot of times where they want to recommend the most similar video to the one that you just watched, but the most similar video has to be clickable for you to say, okay, I actually want to continue clicking through and watching this channel. So
Interesting.
making every video like clickable, and also this is harder to do, and this is something that I've had conversations with Solemn about, is if you want to make money on YouTube, and I think you know, when you become bigger, this is more of a concern. Like my last month on YouTube, I made $20, $24, I think. It's not nothing, but it's also not paying, you know, it's not even paying my phone bill. So
Yeah.
so it's not a big deal for me, but you want people to come back to your content after you make it. So one big focus that Solemn has shifted to, and it shows in the title that I mentioned among his most recent titles, is making evergreen content. A lot of Hearthstone YouTubers really fail to do this. Even the big ones, like 1 million subscriber, 100,000 subscriber guys don't do this. So you don't have to do it, but making evergreen content can really benefit you in the long run because it means it leverages the primary advantage of YouTube, which is that people can find you at any time. So if I make a video and I'm about to upload this video, and if I don't normally promote my videos too much, but if you're watching this podcast, this video is going to teach you a lot of things that you didn't know. It's going to be like a Hearthstone deck tracker guide. And that video is going to be useful tomorrow. It's going to be useful a week from now, and it's going to be useful a year from now. So a year from now, someone might want to learn like how to leverage more wins out of Hearthstone deck tracker. Well, my video is still going to be there, and it's still going to be accurate. But if I upload a video today about Fell Reaver Reno lock, you know, that's probably not going to be meta in a month. It might not be meta in a month. It might not be meta next week even. And so a lot of content just isn't timely unless you specifically make it to be that way.
Like a video about mulligans.
Yeah, exactly. And a video that doesn't commit you to any specific expansion or time frame.
No, this is it's really interesting. I my son is 8 years old, and I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, he was like, "Oh, I want to play Hearthstone." And I told him, "All right, before you play Hearthstone, you watch these 10 videos by Trump SC called Trump's Teachings."
That's how I learned Hearthstone too.
And he will teach you how to play Hearthstone. He will teach you how to use weapons. He will teach you how to, you know, what is it? The saying is your life total is a resource. And all of these things, like they're fundamentals of Hearthstone, like, and he recorded them 5 years ago or whatever it is. And I hear you now. Well, it makes me think, you know, I think early on it was like, let's pump out all the content, but like, if it's not awesome content, then what's the point, right?
Yeah. And also, you only have so many hours in a day, and you've only got so much mental energy.
Yeah.
It you know, I know that it's really hard to put up consistent content like that's good. um and I don't know how much overlap there is, but for people who watch Zeddy a lot, Zeddy is the hardest working person I know on YouTube. That guy, he started around the same time I did, and he has 10,000 subscribers now. I think we both started at the very beginning of the year. I started in like December of last year, and he has 10,000 subscribers now. I have, I think, about 3,500. And the difference is he uploads every single day. And also, one thing that he does really well is he takes a video, and if it does well, he leans into it. He comes back to that concept, and he expands it. He says, you guys like that? Let me give you more and more and more. You know, let me try this. Oh, that didn't work. Let me try this aspect, right? One thing, he found that the tier lists worked really well on YouTube. And I did a tier list, and it did really well on YouTube. So he's on to something there. But he says, oh, you like tier lists? And now he has like 15 videos all over 10,000 views, 20,000 views, because people like the tier lists. And it's also very clickable, evergreen content. You know, if I wanted to know what Zeddy's favorite hero powers of all time were, well, then I'll definitely want to know what his favorite hero portraits are. You know, but I might not want to know what he thought about Hadronox Druid in November of 2019. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
That's really interesting. Well, and I will say, we do the show because we love the community, you know, and enjoy playing the game, and it's more about community. But at the same time, you know, I really agree with you on, like, time is money, right? Or there's only so many hours in the day, and do I want to spend my entire weekend making content that nobody's interested in watching? Like, not particularly. I mean, I enjoy like playing through the game, you know, and doing stuff, but like if people don't want to watch it, that's fine. That's cool. I'm still going to play it anyways, you know, but like maybe we don't need to share it. I don't know. So I'm not necessarily, and I don't want to speak for everybody here, but when we did the show, you know, it wasn't to like make money. It was like to enjoy the game and meet new people and spotlight members of the community and stuff. But like at the same time, I think that, you know, your content can go farther, or you can reach more people with some of these things, you know, your YouTube algorithm, so to speak. So
Yeah, and one thing that a lot of people kind of get wrong when I share with them this is that it's not a betrayal of your content or your followers to do this sort of thing. Like it, and in fact, it really is like the best thing that you can do for your community, if you have the effort, right? I totally agree. Nobody gets into streaming to become, you know, like I didn't start streaming because I was like, I'm gonna be as big as Dane one day, right? And it's possible that I like catch up to that tier of streamer one day, but when I found that like how important YouTube was, you know, who doesn't want a bigger community, right? Like, and I think for you guys, right? For me, I'm just some guy playing Hearthstone, right? I want more people to watch me because it's cool. Like the red number is bigger and more people talk to me. And, you know, of course I get more money. Like that's awesome. Like all of those things are great. But for you guys who have like, you know, you're showcasing members of the community, you're producing like real quality content that people should see, that keeps them up to date and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's not like you owe it to your community to do it because, you know, you don't owe anything to your community. But like, if you want to get it out to more people, that's what you got to do. And for me, like, yes, getting my content out to a bunch of people and having a bunch of people watch when I stream, that's important to me. Like, I don't try and hide that, you know, like I do this stuff to grow and to get a bigger community. And there's nothing wrong with that. But also, it's a lot of work. It's so much work, and nobody would blame you if you didn't do it, because that's why people don't, right? There are so many people. I would say most Wild Hearthstone streamers have literally got this same lecture from me at some point.
Hey, no, you could take this. You could take this on the road. I mean, you pay money for this advice, right? I mean,
Yeah.
This is good stuff. This is good stuff.
I think that does cover everything about YouTube that I have to share, though.
Hey,
No,
one quick thing. I
Mhm.
do like the way you put stream titles because you know, 2 days ago you had streamers you should watch. You know, and your boy made that list. So
Of
props. Appreciate
course.
that. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
I,
but
I,
problem.
I was hyped to see that. Who tagged me? I forget who tagged me, but it was like on Twitter and Discord, and I was like, wait, what? Because I'm sub to you, and I saw the video come through, and I was actually gonna watch it, but I didn't know I'd be on it. So then when someone tagged me and said I was in it, of course I ran to it faster, and I was like, oh, let's go.
Of course. Of course, yeah. Well, I really wanted to do that because it's the same thing that I've been saying. One, I knew that it would be useful, and two, things that are useful are good for your channel, right? If
Hmm.
people want to click on it and watch it, then it's good for me too. And I said, if you want to support the video, I didn't run ads on it. It's like $1 that I missed out on, so I'm not like some sort of saint or anything. Um,
no, but
but
it is useful because do you know how many times I go on Twitch and I type in Wild Hearthstone because I'm trying to find somebody to
yeah,
watch because I'm not
used to
interested in
be.
watching Standard. I have
It
no.
used to be like that for me too, and now pretty much any time that I'm on, I see multiple people, and this way, I also have people to like host when I'm done. I don't have to send
Yeah.
people off to like another game because it's the only person I'm following.
Yeah.
But I do want to say thank you for that video before we move on because
Of course,
ever
yeah.
since, literally up to like 3 hours ago, I just have been getting follows out of nowhere. But it's not out of nowhere; it's because of your video.
Hey,
Like
that's
it's
awesome. That's
crazy,
awesome.
dude. I'm
I
like,
knew
what
that
the hell?
I don't know what your particular situation is, but I know that there
Hmm.
were a lot of people who really like they just started streaming, and to a lot of introductory streamers, getting affiliate is a big deal. And
Hmm.
to many people, their friends will watch, a couple people will tune in, and especially wild people will just come to a wild stream, but they can't get the 50 followers. So
Yeah.
I said, let's give all of these people a little bit of a boost because if that happened to me, I would like when I was starting, I would really appreciate it because there was I was always like growth focused and I streamed at a good time and I networked, but
Hmm.
there were still like 2 3 months where I streamed to like 0, then like 3, and then like 5, and then like 10 viewers, and
Yeah.
that sucks. Like not to be
No. Yeah.
rude to anybody
No.
who
Be
does
blunt.
that,
Yeah.
but
It does.
if there's it like when I get hosted by someone big and there's like a bunch of people in chat, that's a lot more engaging for me.
Mhm.
That's
Hmm.
what everybody wants. So and I'm only live like 3 hours a day, so the other 21 hours are totally free for me to promote.
You
Yeah.
know what? I will
Yo,
give
that's.
you. Oh, sorry. Go for it, Mike.
Oh, real quick. So just so you know, Jack, my scenario, I got affiliate like 2.5 years ago. I was in a relationship that kind of slowed me down, so that's why I had to
Ah,
jump off.
been
Because
there.
Nate, I was promoting it like 2 years ago with Nate and all these guys doing podcasts. So I got affiliate, but so it wasn't hard for me to get viewers. And don't be afraid about being blunt here because I'm blunt too. No problem. Uh, we get to be blunt since we can't curse. We gotta be PG.
Right.
But like, if you network, you use Twitter, you use Discord, you talk to people every day. I come from doing sales. It's easier to sell to a friend than a stranger. So
Mhm.
if you got friends and it's like, hey, starting up a stream or I stream, come check it out sometime, help me promote it. It's no problem to come through. Like there's so many of you guys I follow and hang out. Keith, you, Corbett, like there's so many guys who are in wild. I've had Concerned Mom drop hosts, raids, Goku,
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like all the wild guys. So like sure it's smaller numbers, but like if you network, like you said, the 21 hours you're off stream, you can easily get people to your stream when you're on.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one great thing about the wild community is that it is esoteric in many senses, but it also brings people together, right? If there's only like 5 streams, well,
Hmm.
everybody's going to be in one of those 5 streams.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And less selfishly, mine and fellow content creators' efforts to expand our own territory has also grown wild in turn. I think I've taught a lot of people how to play wild properly, which I'm very proud of. And I had a viewer this week. he messaged me. He stopped in chat. He was like, "Hey man, I just started playing Hearthstone 4 months ago, but I just started playing Wild this week due to your content. So we brought that guy over, and he posted in my Discord today. First time legend.
Oh,
Wow.
damn.
So we're bringing people in, which
Well,
is
Jack's
awesome.
Army.
That's what
Jack's
we want,
Army.
though. I mean, it's the underrepresented format. Unfortunately, it often feels like Blizzard doesn't have a lot of support for it, or it's you
Yeah.
know, and so. But at the same time, I think that the community has been great. I mean, there are your few, salty dogs, but like for the most part, the Wild community has been very supportive, very friendly, very engaging with each other, and I really like it. And like it's all been very welcoming to me. I mean, most of the time I get friend requests after games. They're not hate ones. Every once in a while I get some. I've got my fair share of we've got a channel in the Discord with copies of the hate mail that we get. But
Oh, you don't play the decks that I do, Nate. That's
Oh,
you
we'll get
should have
some-
seen the stuff I got before I started streaming.
I'm sure we'll probably get some hate ads tonight.
See, that's the unfortunate part of being like known in the Wild community is High Legend becomes a bit of a mess because everybody knows who I am. So I don't get the hate ads anymore, which is too bad. Most people add me and they say, "Hey, I like your videos." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man, but could you just hate on me to make it more interesting?"
Say something crazy.
And then also like people are like, "Oh, I know who that guy is." So like, they can like look at my Twitch channel and like
Oh yeah.
what comes of that. So that happens too, but
I do want to say some feedback for you. Blue Train is a good friend of mine, and I know that he's done some coaching with you and has known you for a long time. And I watched. I number one, I like the time that you stream because I'm more of a night owl. I work all day, and when I am doing stuff at night, I like to have a stream in the background. And typically at that late at night, it's either you or Mike or Keith numbers. Concern Mom, Slizzle, and Labore Sangre is like that's who's up. I was watching you the other day, and it was when Blue Train. You guys were doing your coaching session on Odd,
Right.
Odd Paladin, and like, dude, I loved that. It's free coaching, man. It was great, and so I just to pass that feedback along to you. And it's it's really interesting because you take a deck that on the surface looks pretty straightforward, but there is a lot of nuance in any of these decks,
And sometimes there's less nuance than people realize because there are a lot of people that love to play optimally, right? Like they are very concerned with playing correctly. And, Blue Train is one of those guys, right? Like he's improved a ton since I first started coaching him, And I don't want to take all the credit because he's put a lot of work into improving. But now I see him, and like half the time he's higher ranked than me if I played a bad deck recently.
Oh damn.
And but one thing that I found with Discard Warlock is that there were so many turns in which overthinking was the enemy, right? And sending minions face was pretty much the correct play. I think about 75 to 90% of well, I would say about 90% of every turn.
I
Your
recall
only
you
thing
saying that. Stop thinking about it. Go face.
is you're going.
that's
They will,
hilarious.
trade for you. They will trade for you. Just
Yeah.
get them in the face.
I'll never forget that advice from Top Deck Kings back when Tell was on, like years ago. It's like make your opponent trade. Anyways,
Yes.
Face
Yes,
is-
exactly.
face is the place, yeah. So, but anyways, it's good content. It's good content, man. And assert your dominance.
Thank you. Yeah. And if there's anyone out there that wants to pay for it instead of getting it for free, it's on my YouTube for free, but if you want to pay for it personally, you can contact me on Discord. So
Very cool. I really am enjoying the conversation, but there's a lot of news to talk about. So I sort of feel like we should transition a little bit.
Yeah, but Jack is here.
I'll give my take on the news. How about that?
We'll just
Okay.
we'll just do another 10-hour episode.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, just real quick before we transition, I wanted to say a quick thank you to our patrons, particularly Shokunin and Pug Ugly, who are the executive producers of our show. So thank you guys so much for the financial backing. It really helps pay the bills for the website and stuff like that. So thank you so much. And also thank you very much to Adam W. and Claudette G. For being patrons of the show. We really appreciate your support. So, yeah. Thank you
Shout
guys.
out Pug Ugly, also a coaching disciple. Much better player for it.
Hey, very good. Very
Big
good.
supporter.
Well, one thing that we'd like to do is just to see what we've all been up to for the week. So I'm going to ask you, Nate, what have you been doing this week in life and in Hearthstone?
I haven't played a ton of Hearthstone, unfortunately. I kind of burnt out a little bit last week. I hit Legend on day 4 this month, and it was just like it took the life out of me a little bit. And so I was playing a lot of Hades and stuff, but I got wrapped up this week in really like did a deep dive into Warcraft 3. And so I've made it now to the 3rd campaign, and it's just really fun. I've been enjoying that quite a bit. And I've been seeing, so we did the lore episode with Goliath a while back. We did one, and we've done 2 now. But anyways, there's so much lore in that game, and to see, you see Arthas slowly turn into, a Death Knight and the Lich King and all this stuff. Like, it's really pretty crazy. And I'm like, oh god, hey, there's Sylvanas. Oh, hey, there's Uther. It's been pretty fun.
Sweet.
So that's about it. I mean, it's been pretty anticlimactic, but to be honest, that's pretty good sometimes. And one thing that I did do, I mean, we already kind of talked about it, but it made a video about this Albatross Q block, which, like, honestly, I don't even like the Albatross in it, but was seeing a lot of Reno Priest. But I hung out with Gold Daniel last night for 2 hours, and we had we spent the whole time talking about, like, what is the quote unquote perfect Q block list. And there's a core, and then there's optional cards, and really just spent a lot of time talking through why should this be in the deck? Why should this not be in the deck? What are the interactions? And did kind of a deep dive into it. And so I probably end up making a video this weekend on that because it was really good. And now, thanks to Jack, I have an awesome clickbait title called, like, what is the perfect Q block list? Or we found the perfect Q block list. Or do you want to know what the perfect Q block is? Me too. But I won't say me too. But I think it's some engaging conversation and decent content for what it is. But it made me kind of realize that after, like, seeing what people are interested in, like when we're posting videos like almost every day, and it's typically like 10 views, 20 views, and then you post one and it's 200 views, it's like, oh, I mean, those are small numbers to a big platformer, but like when you just look at the metrics compared to ours, this is a 200% increase. Like, oh, well, that must be what people are interested in watching.
Yeah. One thing. Oh, just to add on to this, to give you a tactic for, like, when I was smaller, this is something that worked for me. If you have, like, let's say you have a long conversation, like 2 hours, like I had with my coaching with Blue Train. I think it was my very first Hearthstone YouTube video, was basically just a VOD from stream. I don't even know if I cut out the time in between games. Like, I think I left in the queues, but it was like 2 hours long. And if you can compel at least some fraction of people to watch the whole thing, and whatever you have to do it, that is huge. YouTube, the whole goal of any technology site, YouTube is one of them, but Twitch is another, Facebook, Instagram, all they want to do is keep you on the site for as long as possible. And YouTube is very good at that. Because they select for it so hard. Right. Twitch happens to be naturally good at that. Like, Twitch is like the highest, like, watch time site of, like, any site by individual user. It's absolutely insane. Twitch has such a dedicated community. but YouTube is second because it's videos.
Yeah.
And if you can convince like some small portion of the people who watch your video to watch it all the way through, YouTube will take note of that. And one thing I did is I told people, I said, watch this video, let it play. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to watch it. Let it play.
And
Because if you have, like, let's say you upload a video that would have gotten 10 views, but YouTube sees 8 of the first 10 watched it all the way through, they're not going to take the chance but to recommend it to more people. Because if there's any chance that they watch it for 2 hours like the first 8 people did, I mean, you are set.
It's really interesting that you bring that up because so I recorded this first video, right? I did it for 1 hour. Like I didn't want to go past 1 hour because I thought, that's about as long as I want to go for a video. But I left in, like, I talked about the deck for about 10 minutes and then I played a bunch of it on the Legend Ladder. And I talked through all the moves and what my thought process was. And I kept in, like, frankly, I did 0 editing. I kept in the wins, I kept in the losses. And the feedback that I got from everybody, including Reddit of all places, which I'm reluctant to ever even visit because it's usually it's just vitriol. But like all of the feedback was, hey, number one, we like that you talked through all the stuff. But number two, we like that you kept in the losses also, because a lot of times what they'd see people do is they use some deck spotlight and you only see the highlight reel, right? When somebody's like high rolling, or you only see the wins, and it sets this unrealistic expectation that, hey, I'm going to play this deck and I'm going to win every single time, and you don't catch the bad matchups. And it was like, oh, it was insight that I hadn't considered, that like, oh, people want to watch me lose with this. And I think that, there's something to it to say, hey, could I have done that differently? Or did I play the best that I could and still lose? And like, but it was interesting feedback that I was surprised to receive. So
there is actually a balance. And I just remembered like 2 very quick things that I need to tell you about YouTube. And I know there's news to get to, so I'll make it brief. Actually 3 things. So one is your viewers have no idea what they want. They literally don't know anything. And I would have used much stronger language if I was allowed to.
You can press a button.
Your viewers don't know anything. I'm sorry, viewers, but you have no idea what you want. You don't even know what you click on. Let's be honest. There's so much stuff where you're like, I don't want to click on this because I don't want to support like this if it's a trash video, and then you click on it anyway, and you're like, okay, maybe that was good. So like, listen to your viewers a little bit, but don't overestimate what they're saying, because some people might say, I like the losses. But if the stats are worse on a video where you post the losses, go with the stats, right? The stats tell the true story.
Yeah. Well, no. That reminds me. I mean, we played a deck one time with it was Ben from work, and we lost. I mean, I swear to God, we lost like every match. And
that's every one of his decks, dude.
Bro.
Well, anyways, But that's what happened, right? We literally, like, out of 10 games, we maybe won 1. And like we talked afterwards, like, dude, I'm not posting this. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this was really fun. I had a great time, great people. We enjoyed ourselves. But like, who wants to watch a video of us losing, like 9-10 games in a row? Like, nope, nobody. And we ended up recording something different, and like we just deleted it. It was pretty funny, but I mean, I hear you. So I mean, I kept the losses in, but it's still like, what is it? 4 wins, 2 losses, or something. I don't know. It was ultimately positive win rate. Like, no one wants to watch a video of you losing over and over unless it's really funny. But
okay. So the 2 more things about YouTube. These are just like small, minute things, but they'll help you. So the first thing is, there is a right time of day to post. Find that time, always post at that time, schedule your videos.
What's that time?
It gives you the data. You have to look for yourself. It's different for every creator.
Interesting.
So it for me, it actually, like, I created the correct time of day for me to post. For Zeddy, he said that for him it's about 6 a.m. Pacific. For me, I post at 10 a.m. Pacific, and I look at my stats. That's perfect. And I believe it's because I happen to attract the people who were on consistently at that time. So YouTube stats will tell you when most of your viewers are online, and you should post right in the middle of there. But if you're already consistent about posting, you are probably posting at the right time, just based off of that metric. But morning West Coast seems to be a good time.
I've been posting at 7 a.m. Like is the time 7 a.m. Pacific is
That's
when I've been
probably
posting.
good.
But like I'm curious. I mean, I'll look at the metrics later. That's really interesting though.
Take a look because you might gain a small benefit, and the benefit only grows and grows.
Well, and again,
exponentially.
like I mean, I've been looking to increase awareness to the show, to the community. If we just so happen to strike it big and monetize, like, hey, I wouldn't turn it down. That'd be pretty nice to get some, but like, not looking to quit my day job.
No, it takes, you have to be even bigger than I originally thought to make like full-time income. I was going super hard at content creation, and I was like, if it's possible, I think I'm going to make it my job by the end of summer. And well, it's October now, and I had some good months. Like I had some months where I made like really close to the amount of money I needed to survive, but I didn't quite get there, so we're still going. And also YouTube income is like way worse than I thought it was. Like you have to, I thought that I was going to get like $3 per 1,000 views. Like, no, I get like $1 if I'm lucky for every 1,000 views that you see. For every,
I mean, if I imagine Twitch is probably better for that.
Twitch ad revenue is actually worse than YouTube. My ad revenue is quite bad for the amount of people that see ads on my stream. But if you attract people who if you're very community oriented, then subscriptions can be huge. I am not the most community oriented person. Like, I don't know how to, it sounds terrible to say it, but it's true. I don't have as many people that are huge dedicated members of my family that other people might, and so I don't have the same sub numbers that others do. So you have a lot of creators that are not big, but they make their money that way. Anyway, so that was the second thing. Find the right time of day and post at that time of day. And the third thing is every video should be an experiment. Never post a video that's not trying something new, because if you're not improving constantly, you won't get better over time. So every video I run, I'm trying something a little bit differently to see how it plays. And sometimes you won't get the numbers back. You just simply don't know how it played.
Nobody wants to see a video of you doing a kickflip every time.
They don't. But, sometimes I'll say, can phrasing a title like this work? And I'll title it that way and it won't do well. And I'll say, okay, that's not good anymore. And I remember one time I was frustrated with how my recent videos had done because I had been experimenting with new stuff and it didn't work. And I said, okay, here's my experiment. I'm going to copy an old title that worked and just use it again, but change 1 or 2 words to make it fit my content. Will that work? And the answer is yes, it did. So just try something new so that you're always learning and improving your content. And just that small act will force you to do that explicitly.
Cool. Thank you.
We got a free marketing lesson tonight. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for real. Oh, yeah.
I've consumed way too much content on how to do this stuff, and that is definitely a distillation of many, many hours. So
I appreciate it.
I am so looking forward to you guys listening to me, because 0 people to date have listened to me.
0.
That's
ridiculous.
That's pretty funny. Well, Hydra, that was my week.
All right. Well, let's talk to Mike. Mike, how was your week?
Oh, yeah. This week will probably be shorter than my talk last week. Not too much on the Hearthstone side. Tried climbing in wild. Kept coming across, aggro druid. Kept coming across Reno priest. So just kind of laid low. Knew that we'd be getting some news this week, some updates, new game mode. So I'm pretty happy to talk about that. But outside of the game, I got a new cell phone, new iPhone 11.
Ooh, nice and shiny.
Nice.
So you know, mobile mic is moving up. You know what I'm saying? Now I got an iPhone 11. You guys got to watch out. This thing does wonders. I've been creating some graphics. You know what I'm saying? Do some artwork. We got that tournament coming up. We'll talk about later. I've been putting that together on this phone too.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. As for myself, this week, well, it started off pretty casual. On the weekend, I found myself falling into the trap of playing Among Us with many of our wonderful wild Hearthstone friends. I played a lot of Among Us. It's a lot of fun. I don't know what to tell you guys. When you get in a group with a bunch of dudes from the wild community and you just start playing, it's great. So I had a lot of fun doing that, and then real life happened on Monday. I don't know. I think I may have spoke about this in chat a little bit. But so I'm at work on Monday, and I get a phone call from my son's school. So I have an 11-year-old boy.
Oh, man.
I get a phone call from the school saying, "Hey, your son's not here. Where, is he at home sick?" And I say, "No, I'm at work." So I call his mother. Her and I, we're not together anymore. So I call his mother, and she's like, "Not with me either." And so I had, this insta panic. And I don't always deal with stress well. Like, sometimes ladder anxiety gets to me. Imagine you're missing 11-year-old. So I tell my boss, I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta figure out where my son is. He's not at school. He's not at my house. He's not at his mom's house. I'm thinking maybe, because he's got a PlayStation in his room, right? Like maybe he's at the age where he's skipping school and he's going to be playing PlayStation. So I hop in my truck and I speed home and get here. Nope, not here either. Like, he is absolutely nowhere to be found. And so I'm at the point where I got to call the police, figure out where he is. I call the school one more time and I'm like, we got to do a clean sweep. We got to figure out if he's hiding under the stairwell. Where is this kid? And the secretary of the school goes, we're sorry. It was an accident. We had a substitute teacher. They screwed up the roll call. He was in class the whole time.
Yo, I find that messed up because
I'm so mad.
Yo, I work as a substitute teacher, so I take offense to that. The other subs, they messed it up for us, man. That's messed up.
The amount of stress and anxiety that happened over this was completely unnecessary, but it all happened, and it was, by the time we figured this all out, it was about I don't know, noon. Mm-mm. And so I call my boss back, and I'm like, it's all good. He's fine. And he goes, "Oh, what time can I expect you back at the office?" And I said, "Bro, I already opened a beer. Not coming." No way. So that was Monday.
That's a power move, though. They say, when are you coming back? You say, "What? Coming back? Excuse me?"
I was like, "I'm sorry, but not happening."
Nah.
Yeah. So Monday was a little bit stressful, and then as for the rest of the week, I was playing around on EU and Asia, just doing my quests. I like to try to keep up with my quests on those, just to make sure I got gold to buy packs. Being rude, playing a little bit of Don't Tell Anybody Secret Mage because it's easy wins. A little bit of odd, yeah, I know. Don't look at me like that, Jack. Some odd pally. Just whatever I can to get those wins on those servers. And then to piggyback off of Nate about with your deck with Gold Annual, we did a little co-op with me and Nate, and we ended up going 10-1 at one point. I don't know what we ended off at, but we were at 10-1 at one point.
We took the screenshot when it was 10-0, and then I think you lost the last two. One of them was due to a misplay, and I think we were both starting to get pretty tired.
Yeah, well, it was like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And yeah, we misplayed and just like destroyed our own taunt, and they got lethal.
Well, and I think there was once where I miscalculated the mana, and it's like when we start getting tired, we start like losing the awesome attention span, where a lot of times I play pretty intuitively, and it just goes wrong a little bit sometimes.
Damn,
Pretty much.
Y'all didn't hit me up.
You were streaming. We were watching your.
Okay.
We were watching your. I had your stream on the other screen, and at some point, like you took off, and then I think you. I don't know. You didn't come back. It was. I don't know if you. But the stream was AFK for a little bit, so I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, the other night how does Jack put it? I was consuming grass and combusting. Oh wait, how do you put it, Jack?
Well, I don't know what we're allowed to say on here, but
Oh,
We get it.
yeah. Things happen. But it's all good.
consuming grass and combusting. That's what we say
Yeah,
on
I
my
love-
stream.
Speaking of stream titles, this dude, oh my god, cheers.
Anyway, that was basically my week, and now we're here. Jack, you get up to anything interesting this week?
Yeah, I think so. That whole content creation as a job thing by August, it didn't exactly work out. So I need to get a job now. I think I'm gonna apply at Trader Joe's. Yeah, it seems like the one place that I could work at without going crazy. And there's a lot of places nearby where people, they're not wearing their masks. They're causing a lot of trouble. It's too bad. So without getting into it, Trader Joe's seems like a nice place where they pay enough. It's not crazy stressful. Hey.
Advertising.
Shout out Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
I think I'll be applying there. I had therapy right before this podcast, so that was pretty cool. And also, of course, the new game mode, which we'll get into, seems very good, very promising. I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good times. Hey, speaking of one other thing I totally forgot to add, but this seems like a decent segue. As far as my week went, my week got significantly better this afternoon because we got 2 bundles to give away from Blizzard. So
we did.
That's exciting. We've got 2 bundles to give away. Madness of the Darkmoon Fair bundles to give away. It's the one that comes with 45 packs and random legendary and the N'Zoth card back and the early access to duels. And so pretty cool. There's 2 ways to go about doing this. Because we got 2 codes, we figured we'd do one the normal way on Twitter with the liking and retweeting and all of that. And so that's live on Twitter right now. But we also wanted to give one away to our community. And so the way that you're welcome to enter the one on Twitter. I will tell you that you will probably not win because there's going to be a bazillion people that put in for it and it'll be randomly generated. But I'm
going to win.
Hey, there you go. For those of you who are in our community to give back, we're doing the other giveaway in our Discord. So the other way to enter this contest is in our Discord under the let's see here. Here it is. So, in our community Hearthstone related sections, there's a title here called contest entries. So to enter this contest, you just go in there. All you have to do is put the name of your favorite legendary card. That will enter you into the drawing for one of these bundles. And so that is specifically for people in our community. So go into our Discord. Go to the section under our community section called contest entries. Just put the name of your favorite legendary card. That will get you an entry. You can enter a second time by going to the Twitter and liking and retweeting. So 2 chances. But anyways, I thought it was super cool. It's very nice to be acknowledged. It's very nice to get the hookup from Blizz. So it feels nice, and I know I bought them as well, so they're not going to me. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyways, yeah.
Cool. Get to the news then.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, let's do it.
Yo, let's go.
So we finally have it. I mean, we all sort of knew what was coming, but we do have our new expansion. On the live reveal stream, we have 135 new cards on November 17th. It's
That's
the return
crazy.
of the old gods. It's Madness at the Dark Moon Fair.
Let's go. The old gods are back.
Old
Yes.
gods are back. All of them. We got Cthulhu, N'Zoth, Yogg-Saron, and Yasharaj. They are all back in different incarnations than they were before.
I love the Dave Kosak like madness. The reveal stream was so good.
He's so goofy. He's funny.
He is. I have to say, like, they did such a good job at containing the leaks this time around. Like the last couple of expansions, there have always been leaks like right before, and they kept a lid on it. And considering how the entire team is still working from home, I don't know how they did it.
Damn.
But they managed to do it, and so big ups to them for that. I think that's pretty cool.
Yo, the only leak I saw, Trump put a picture out.
Yeah.
Or somebody took a screenshot on his YouTube and it said Wizard Duels.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was like within 18 hours or something like that.
Yeah. But that's I saw that right before. I think I saw it the morning of or something like that. And I had to work. I didn't get to watch it. It was at 8 a.m. Pacific, and I had to work.
Man.
But like, I just took my phone, put it on airplane mode, and kept it in my little work bag or whatever, and I didn't even look at it until lunchtime. Got my lunch, shut the office door, watched it, and so I didn't. Nobody spoiled it for me either, which is doesn't normally happen. So
Yeah. Well, almost, because Mike asked a question in.
See, so
the general
I got a text to go back to school to work. So the first day I get to go back to work is the day they're announcing all this stuff. So, fresh out of work, I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff coming out. I don't know where to go, who to talk to. So I'm like, hey, what's up? Somebody talk to me, holler at me. And then I get Dr. Bomb in trouble because Hydralisk came through with the band hammer. And he's like, I'm cleaning this up. He's like, keep this in the spoilers channel.
I had to delete everything because everything got spoiled in the lounge. Like,
oh no, I'm glad you did. You know where I saw it was from the night before. Mad at Arms posted in the Squelch Discord. Hey, I know everybody's really excited, but can you not we've got a bunch of people here that got to work. Can you post it in the spoilers section? And I was like, oh god, I need to copy that.
I saw you basically copied and pasted what he said.
Yeah, basically.
If I could recommend something unsolicited for Discord, this is actually a problem that I'm part of a movie club. So we watch 2 movies every week and we talk about them on Sunday. And we have a Discord, and it's full of people who've never used Discord before, because it's like, I think I'm the only person who plays video games in the club. And they're always blown away by the camera and the mic, which I find hilarious. I love that, honestly. But regardless, so in Discord we had a spoilers channel for each movie, and people could not help themselves. They don't have the notifications turned off, so every time somebody types something, it gives them the sound.
Oh man.
And so every time somebody types something in a spoilers channel, the first thing they would do is go click on it to make it go away. And they got super mad because they were like, we can't have these channels where people talk about it. And it's like, well, it's like, no, we need this. So what you do is you have a bot that assigns roles based on clicking a reaction to a message. And then you have a role unlock a particular channel for you. So every week we have this tiny little picture of this emote of Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems doing this is how I win. It's that picture is the emote. and you just click it under the name of the movie you've seen, and it unlocks the discussion channel for that movie.
Oh.
Yo, so I've been trying to figure that out. So I know Nate gives me props for like he says, helping the Discord server out and doing channels and bringing people in. But there's this next level of intelligence tier that you're at that I'm trying to get to. So if we could ever talk and you could help me set that up for this Discord, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, hit me up after. I'll show you how to do it. You need to remember like 2 commands for a bot, and that's it. And
Okay.
you're good to go.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
Nice.
Okay, so to move on with this,
Oh, yeah, we got...
yeah, we got lots. We have these things called the Old God artifacts. So
yeah, check this out. Yeah, here, let me put up the artwork for these old gods.
Oh, they
real
are?
quick. Yeah, so there's some different mechanics, right? We've got... So all the old gods are back. Cthulhu, Yasaraj, N'Zoth, and Yogg.
yeah, there they are.
There's artifacts, and so, I think that's specific to Cthulhu. So at the start of the game, break into pieces. I think it's 4 cards, right?
Yeah.
And when you draw them, they do things, and then when you've got all 4, deal 30 damage, randomly split among all enemies. It feels like a meme to me, but like it also looks really fun. I don't know.
Looks awesome.
We'll make it work. Oh, it'll be.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to play it at least. I don't know.
I already got 2 ideas for that. I got 2 ideas.
Yeah, what are they?
It might be a joke. The first one, wild spell mage, and then I've been trying to get this list from somebody. That card stowaway. There's a deck, a rogue deck that uses stowaway, and this stowaway card could pull 2 of these easily. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, cards that didn't. It's the cards that didn't start in your deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're gonna make it work. I'm excited. It comes out on the 17th, so right around the corner.
It actually, I think something that's interesting to note is that the set is coming out earlier than normal, right? It's usually the first week of December, and now it's mid-November.
Yeah.
Now,
Before Thanksgiving.
I think I know the reason for this. Something that is that they're trying new is that they said mid-expansion they're going to be adding a mini set of 35 cards. And so I think that's like if I had to guess, that's probably the reason for starting this early, so that mid-expansion there's an additional 35 cards that come out, and so it splits up the meta into essentially a new meta, and so it makes sense though for them to release this a little bit earlier. So that's pretty sweet. I mean, I cannot wait to watch. Yogg will be the most hated card in Hearthstone very, very shortly. I'm sad that this N'Zoth looks like it kind of sucks. It's got to be the N'Zoth looks like
Yeah, I don't see a lot of hope for the new N'Zoth. If anybody's wondering, it's 10 mana 5/7 like normal. Resurrect a friendly minion from each minion type.
You've got to.
I thought you meant the artwork. The artwork looks horrible. Sorry.
The artwork's great. You got to make a menagerie deck for it to work, which frankly just isn't very good. But I don't know. You never know.
A deck with no synergy to pull this off. So I mean, maybe one day. I mean, in Wild,
the Yogg will at least be fun. So you play the Yogg, you spin the Yogg wheel. It's an interesting concept, right? 19% to do all these different things, and then 5% to cast Pyroblast until somebody dies, which is pretty funny. So I have a zoom up of the Yogg wheel. So there's a 5% chance of getting the Rod of Roasting. Cast Pyroblast randomly until a player dies. Like, there will be videos upon videos upon videos of just the Rod of Roasting, which I can't wait to watch. And I believe the Rod of Roasting was included in some of the earlier PvE Dungeon Run content, because I've played it before. So what are the other options? The other options are you're more likely to get either the Hand of Fate, fill your hand with random spells. They cost 0 this turn. The Curse of Flesh, fill the board with random minions, then give yours Rush. Mind Flayer Goggles, take control of 3 random enemy minions. Mystery Box, cast a random spell for every spell you've cast this game. Targets chosen randomly which is classic Yogg, right? And then the last one is called Devouring Hunger. Destroy all other minions, gain their attack and health. Oh, that's interesting.
This card is disgusting, by the way. It's
Oh, yes.
disgusting how good it is. I think a lot of people don't realize like how much better this is than regular Yogg.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, so fill your hand with random spells. They cost 0 this turn. Okay, there are a lot of expensive spells in Wild, just the way it is. Fill your hand with random spells. That clears the board. Or it draws you cards, and then it clears the board, but you also got to drew cards. Maybe you gain health and armor. So, like, you play Yogg because you're in trouble, right? So, you play this, you're good, right? You're good. It got you out of whatever situation you were in. Fill your board with random minions. Give yours rush. If your opponent has a bunch of minions, they only get summoned a couple. And you get to determine the trade, so you're good to go. That does what you want it to do. Take control of 3 random enemy minions. I would venture to guess that does what you want it to do as well. And then original Yogg effect, which is like
YOLO.
You know, it is what it is, but it's not bad.
The one that fills your
it's an
hand
effect.
with spells and you that they cost 0. That seems kind of ridiculous because it's like Yogg, but you get to pick like where everything goes, right?
Yes.
Because like
Yes.
the fireball could kill your own like high main or whatever, but no, we would like to choose that the fireball goes to the enemy's face.
Yeah,
Right,
and then also the last one, destroy all other minions, right? That you're not going to have any. You're playing Yogg. Let's be honest. You don't have any minions.
YOLO.
Gain their attack and health. Hello, like you now have like a 30-30 Yogg in Wild.
Right.
Jade Druid is not good, and I wouldn't play it even with this card. But any deck that could just jam this in as like a last minute thing, it has to be a really late game to justify a 10 in Wild or a ramp deck. But it does what you want it to do a lot more than the old Wild or than the old Yogg does.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't seem very difficult to trigger either. You've got to cast 10 spells. Like, that's not even that hard to do.
That's
No.
Page.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. But it'll definitely be pretty interesting. There is, we see on Yasiraj, Battlecry, add a copy of each corrupted card you've played.
Tell them what corrupted means.
Yeah, so there's a new keyword. There's a new keyword called corrupted. Let me see here. I've got a couple of the samples. So corrupted is corrupt cards upgrade in your hand after you play a higher cost card. Plan ahead and upgrade your corrupt cards before playing them for a major payoff. Okay, so what this means is it took me a minute to figure it out, but like I've got this 3 mana spell, Day at the Fair, in my hand. If I play any card 4 mana or above, this card upgrades in my hand. It still costs 3, but it does something better. So I mean, there's definitely some potential. They only released 2 so far, so there's a Paladin spell called Day at the Fair. 3 mana, summon 3 Silverhand Recruits, corrupt summon 5. And a Shaman spell, Dunk Tank, 4 mana, deal 4 damage. If it's corrupt, then deal 4 damage, then deal 2 damage to all enemy minions, I believe.
So basically, you're being rewarded for playing off curve, right?
Slower. Oh.
Yep. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's too early to guess, but I imagine just like anything else, you take any other mechanic in Hearthstone, right? There's the Echo, and there's Reborn and all this stuff that like there's going to be some hits and some misses. So I imagine there will be a couple of these that will be quite good and a couple that will totally suck and some that will be somewhere in between. But it's interesting. I mean, I'm always interested when they do new mechanics. So yeah, I think there was a minion one as well. And I don't recall what it does, but we'll do a card reveal or a card review show to go over all these at some point. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention is that everybody got a free legendary Silas Darkmoon, which is funny because I think I predicted it last week on the show, right? It was like, hey, this clearly will be a minion in this set because it's like the ringleader of the Darkmoon Fair, right?
Yeah.
And so, and something to look forward to when we do the next lore episode with Goliath. I'm sure we'll talk about the Darkmoon Fair. And we've been talking about bringing up the old gods as well. And so this should be a lot of fun. I saw, not to get too off topic, but almost immediately, everyone wants to play the fun new card, right? This card is ridiculously disruptive. Now, I saw Soda post last night an odd warrior list that's running this, and there's a new OTK. It's a little bit ridiculous, and we saw, Hydra and I saw two people playing it last night, and we won both of those matches. But there's an OTK with Silas where I don't remember what the minion is, but essentially you gain a crap ton of armor. You play the minion that when it's damaged, it deals that much damage to the owner of the card. So you play it on your side, then you play Silas to give it to your opponent, and then you shield slam it for 30 or 30 plus, and it's an OTK. And like, I'm sure that Soda, got some wins with it, and it was a really fun video to watch, but like, I don't think it's going to be meta. But I do think that there's definitely going to be, like, people will run this card. There's clearly some disruption to it. We were playing Q Block last night, and somebody stole our freaking Mal'Ganis with this, and like, I was pretty mad.
Yeah.
And so, Adam Zeroshio in the chat is saying that, I mean, there's some shenanigans that you can pull up, and he's saying Silas in Milrogue with Octosari and Anka. I think there will be some shenanigans that you can do with this card. The disruption seems pretty good. I don't know that it will find a long-term home in any deck in particular, but it's the new fun thing to play while we're in the waiting room. Do you guys have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that Odd Warrior probably will play it. Because Odd Warrior lacks a late game win condition. And I don't think on the surface I agree with you that it's not a good one, but it's simple because it only uses 2 new cards, right? So you only have to cut 2 cards. Odd Warrior's fine running about like 26 cards if they had to choose. So adding 2 new ones isn't a big deal.
Right.
And it also just makes high armor total just a subtle threat. Just a little bit of a threat. And the thing is, before, I actually ran into this problem today when I was playing Reno Priest. I had a short stream today where I crafted Reno Priest on Asia and then took it to Legend. And I went against this Odd Warrior where they had the combo, and I realized that when it got to turn 9, they had 60 health. And I realized, oh, I'm just gonna die if he runs into the combo. And there was actually a single turn that I passed to him where I would have been dead if he had the combo. And later on I Eluciated him. He had 2 pieces of the combo, so it was really close to getting me, and it actually changed the way I played because as soon as I could, I had to chip away at that armor total. Typically the win condition for Reno Priest versus Odd Warrior is going to be turn 1, spawn Seance, play your cards. Turn 2, Reno. Turn 3, spawn, and you can deal like 120 damage that way if you want to. They just die. But if you can't wait until the very end of the game, then it doesn't matter because you could just be dead. So I think it changes how some of their worse matchups play out, but it doesn't change the fact that they lose to like Q Block. Q Block is just it. The reason they lose to Q Block is because their armor total gets pressured so bad. So it doesn't change everything, but it changes a couple matchups that might be relevant to where you might as well run it. Not fantastic, but a cool drop to get out of nowhere.
It's exciting. I mean, it actually was working pretty well, I think, for some people, and I don't know. Yes, I think
another one that I came across, another OTK with it. It's a Warlock one where you use the philosophy card to copy the lowest cost demon in your hand, and you get the Moarg Artificers, the one that all minions take double damage from spells. So you get multiple of those, and you drop all those down. And then there's the Soulbound Ash Tongue, where it says whenever this minion takes damage, also deal that amount to your hero. Or
Yeah.
you give that to your enemy with this new legendary. What's it called? Silas.
Silence
And
Dark
then
Man,
you and then you soul fire it, and then it does 32 damage to your opponent.
Oh, interesting. That's pretty funny.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there's another one. I don't know like how consistent that would be, but
Yeah, but still,
it's something.
it's fun to get to play with the stuff now. It's like, hey, there's this big. What they've done in the past is like, hey, here's this announcement. The set comes out in a month. We'll start releasing cards in 2 weeks. So y'all could just go marinate for the next 2 weeks while we reveal nothing. And so rather than doing that, it's like, hey, here's a new card. Hey, here's a new play mode, and you can use it right now. And it's good marketing, frankly.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of a new play mode,
yeah, let's move on here. Oh. One other thing, they must be listening to the show because I think they had decided to sell the old Cthulhu card back before Mike had a chance to flex with it.
Oh,
so.
Man. Yep, they knew it.
I have that one. I did the Old Gods pre-order way back when and got this one, and I love that card back.
I know it's so cool. I at the time I was completely free to play. I refused to spend money on the game, so I did not purchase that. I pre-ordered the next set, but
Hey, quick question for Jack.
Yep.
'Cause I know there's some random players out there who want to know this. As somebody who's really, really high top tier, cream of the crop player, do card backs matter to you guys up top?
No, I think a lot of lower rank players put way too much emphasis on the card back. They'll be like, oh, he's got the legend card back, he's a bad player. Not true. I think the top players really don't care. I think if I saw someone with a golden card back, I'd be like, all right, this guy maybe knows how to play. But there's nobody who plays Wild with a golden card back. I still think that I should get one for Solemn's tournament because what else do we have? But until that happens, no, I don't put anything into card backs.
I think
Okay.
I think Alba's the only one maybe that's got one, and maybe not even him.
I've seriously considered just spiking like a Masters tour or something like that just to get a golden card back.
It's like
It's the
one
only worthwhile thing you get from them.
That's pretty funny. Oh man. All right. So yes, you want to move on. We've got a new play mode.
yeah, we do. And they kept teasing that you're going to be able to use your wild cards in this new play mode, and it finally got revealed on the stream. And what we have is, in my opinion, a combination of what so many people were asking for. So many people love Dungeon Run. So many people love doing a draft, and Wild wanted a little bit of support. And we just got a combination of what feels like to me of sort of like everything all into one. And what we were talking about is a rotation of sets being in the meta. So what we have is Hearthstone. This one is Wizard Duels, but it's called Heroic Duels. So basically, it's a dungeon run based on the current set that you're in, and you'll be having boss versus boss. It's a dungeon run style, except you will be versing each other, PvP, not PvE, and you get to draft your own deck. But you start off using your own collection. You get 16 card slots. It's Highlander style at the beginning. You can only pick one of each card, and then the game kind of predicts what direction you are going, and it will offer you cards based on what you've already selected. And so it's arena style. Basically, it's been given away as free to play currently. If you have it's not technically free to play right now.
Yeah.
But, so that one got me a little bit. So I was,
yeah, man, they put a price tag on the entry.
Yeah.
So like being from Canada, okay, so I watched this stream and then I was like, all right, let's go. And so I clicked the button, like it lets you get all the way to like, okay, we're gonna play. You go in the game mode, you click it, and then it goes, you need to buy the bundle. And it straight up offers you like the mega bundle. So in Canada, the mega bundle is $99.99. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, like you can go back out and like get the other one, which is like $49.99.
Poor Canadians, man. You guys get screwed.
Oh man, I'm like, I gotta pay $100 to play this free to play mode.
Damn, a blue 100 crisp one from the bank. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Damn.
So I was like, quick look at my wife. Is she looking at the internet right now? Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
I was gonna buy it. She knows I buy the expansion every single time anyway. But yeah, it was. Oh man, it was like, oh, I need to play this. So
damn.
But yeah, so that was something that I don't think was made very clear on the stream. They talked about early access, and I don't know.
Yeah, no, we got baited. It was and you all can have access to it right now today.
Yeah,
and what they didn't say was what they didn't say was, you know, for the low price of $40 for buying the cheapest pre-order. And like they did not say that. And so, you know, I mean, I've played a little bit of it. It took me a minute to figure out like how to do it okay. And once you sort of figure out the ground rules, I'm currently on a Warlock run and I'm 6-0 right now with 3. Yeah, it was 6-0 right now. But like it took me a good handful of losses before I figured out what the heck I was doing.
Yeah, right from the start, I was like, what do I do? So I just built a pirate warrior, and then it was okay until I ran into like a disco lock that just absolutely destroyed me. So like, I'm not sure what's good yet. I have no idea, but I know that it's fun.
I saw
Jack.
I saw Jack's clickbait video that said world's first Mage 12-0 run, and it made me really want to watch it. I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my list.
What's up, Jack?
So it was indeed the world's first 12-0 run of any class. I just put Mage to be more specific. I was watching everybody on Twitch, and I couldn't find a game. I made it to like 8-0, and I had like a 10-minute queue.
Damn.
I legit couldn't find a game, and then I think later on I faced one guy that I had already absolutely destroyed. I destroyed him again. So back when Dungeon Run came out, I spent my entire summer playing Dungeon Run. This was before I streamed. I wasn't doing anything, so I just kind of incidentally happened to be like a Dungeon Run expert. Like I remember all the tier lists of the exact same treasures, and I knew exactly what to put in my deck right away. Hydralisk, just want to correct you. You said 16 card decks. It's actually 15 cards in Lotheb. In case people haven't realized, it's 15 cards and Lotheb. Every single deck, it sounds like a meme, but it's not a meme. So fortunately, all the people listening to this show probably have Lotheb, but standard players are real mad about that every deck requires that. So yeah, Lotheb in every deck. I knew what to build right away. So I built the Mage. The Mage hero power seemed OP, so...
Get a Mana Worm? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, get a Mana Worm, not bad. So if you just play for value in the early games with Mage, you just use all the Mage cards that kind of make sense. A Mad Scientist, Duplicate, Counterspell, like Frostbolt. You just build a decent deck. I believe I got your first spell each turn costs 1 less, and then Robes of Gaudiness, which is all of your cards cost half rounded down, but you can only play 2 cards per turn. And then immediately, once I got offered that, every single bucket, I just took the most expensive bucket, and if they didn't offer me an expensive bucket, I didn't take anything. So I had like multiple Yogg boxes in my deck.
Oh, gross.
So I just started dropping Yogg boxes on 4. I remember there was one game where I was just losing, so I Yogg boxed him once, and it buffed his board. So I Yogg boxed him again and then cleared the board. And then another game, I low-thebbed on 2, and then I played Lab Partner into that 6/6 that doubles if you have spell power on 3.
Yeah.
So I dropped like 20 worth of stats uncounterable on this guy. And then the 4th turn, I played, I think I filled out the rest of the board and played Counterspell.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Hey,
And
they
so every game I ended by 5. It was very fun.
by the way, they removed during the show. This just came out 1 hour ago. Server side hotfix coming today. Robes of Gaudiness has been removed from the passive treasure pool.
What?
You're welcome, viewers. That's me. That was me.
Damn.
Play it.
Wow.
That's funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Just save your 11-0 runs to snipe Crip with the Robes of Gaudiness.
I completely got baited. Like, I guess I didn't think about it, but the paladin, one of the treasures, says you start with 2 mana on turn 1.
It's not
And
wild growth.
I
It's
was
the
like,
coin.
Cool. I'll start with two mana instead of 1. Yeah, you get reset. That's only for the first turn.
It's,
I'm like,
it's the worst one. Yeah.
oh, because I thought it was going to give you a leg up, like you're going to be 1 ahead. Nope. Not the
Yeah.
case.
Anything mana cheat is super good. That one just happens to be cheat 1 mana turn 1, and
Yeah,
that's
that's
it.
turn 1.
Another popular build that's really powerful is Druid with Rush or Druid with spell damage. Because Druid's inherent mana cheat cards combined with mana cheat abilities are insanely busted, because then you can get to like crazy mana totals that your opponent can't answer. And then once you have mana totals your opponent can't answer, you can do whatever you want. You can just burn them with spell damage, or you can just kill them with guardian animals and big beasts.
That's insane.
I'll have
I
to
get-
play more of it this weekend or something. Yeah.
It's a very fun game mode.
Yeah, I'm playing after
I
the stream.
foresee myself playing a ton of it in the future. Right now, I would say for people who are thinking about getting the pre-order, I would say don't bother, if it's a lot of money to you and you weren't going to get the bundle anyway. Because the limited number of hero powers and like commander cards, I guess, cards that you get special in your deck, they've only got 1 special card per class and 1 hero power per class, and they only have a couple classes, I think.
It's very
Maybe they
limited.
have all their classes.
It's pretty
But-
limited right now.
You're
Very
given an
limited.
option of 4 classes, but I believe it rotates through them all.
Yeah, that might be it. So I would say that this limited thing is good to satisfy the itch of like figuring out the game mode, but the full game mode is going to be much more fulfilled. It's not going to be as stale. So I think some people are going to get bored really quickly. Like I felt like very quickly I figured out what was good and what wasn't good. But when you have a bunch of cards that you can build around and a bunch of hero powers, that changes everything. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's still. I mean, you would say it's still in like beta or whatever. I mean, it's early access. It's
'Cause
fun.
Like, once you unlock everything, because right now we only have 1, like, hero power to start off with. But, like, Dungeon Run, there's 6 to choose from, right? And so, yeah, right now we just have the 1. So
Yeah.
it's gonna blow everything wide open.
That's true. That's true. But it's cool to play the new thing early.
Oh no, it definitely is. But if you don't have like the disposable income to do it right now, I don't know. Just watch your friend play. You can play it
Yeah.
when it comes out.
Original Dungeon Run is like the same thing right now, but better, to be honest. I really like the PvP aspect, and I'm so looking forward to the 150 gold entry fee so that you can just actually farm gold playing this mode.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exciting for
Yeah.
me.
That is super fun, and you can use your arena passes to get in there
Yep.
too.
Oh.
Just
I
so
got
you
a
guys
little-
know, they only stack up to like 9. So
Yeah, I have 9.
I think I might have 9 too.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting until.
Well, this is great because I never really play arena, but I would play this, and
Yep.
I like the idea that I can play my mad scientist, that I can play my Lotheb,
I didn't know-
my golden Lotheb.
Like, so could I have like 13, but I only have 9?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
A little annoying to think about.
But yeah, the next step of this, they said it's going to cost the same amount as arena, so it'll be 150 gold to do a run.
If you want to play competitively, there is a full casual mode you can play for free at any time.
Yep.
So
Nah.
either or.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spend that money, boy. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Let's go.
Yeah,
But I
no, I
mean,
mean, I imagine that.
My kid isn't going to spend his gold on it, kind of thing. Like, some people, if they want to play it casually and just have fun, they can go and do that. But
Yeah. I mean, I imagine you'll get it'll be like arena, right? Like even if you lose, you'll probably get a pack or something, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll be the same exact reward system as arena, considering it's got the same like ladder system. It also has the same matchmaking, by the way.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. This is pretty fun though. I'm excited about it, and this seems pretty good.
I was going to ask for what was the big, did you get 12 wins, you said, with the mage?
Yep, 12-0.
What did they give you for points on that?
Oh, a 35-30?
Holy.
Yeah, I'm at
Damn.
like 4650 right now, and I've only yeah. So I think for like the whole time I was streaming yesterday, I had the highest MMR of anybody, but
Yeah.
I'm sure now I don't. Also, there are ranked floors, by the way. So if you get to like 4500 and your first game doesn't go well, and then your first treasure sucks, just throw. I'm pretty sure there are ranked
Wow.
floors every 500. So if
Okay.
I would, especially with casual, if you're trying to get your rating up for no reason or you don't like how a run is going, just concede it. You get a crazy amount of MMR for doing just very little, and you don't lose that much for losing. Like if you concede an 0-0 run, you lose I lose like 30 MMR. I've done it a couple times just because I didn't like the way it went, or 0-1 because I lost the first game and the first treasure it offered is bad. Get out of there. Get out of there. It's no reason.
I went 1-3, and I still went up 300. I'm like, sweet. Yeah, I
It'll
went
probably
up
be-
299 for going 1-3.
It'll probably be like Battlegrounds MMR, where like the top players max at like 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 eventually. So that's probably why. I imagine they're doing the same elo as Battlegrounds, same matchmaking as Arena.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it makes sense from them to port over existing systems. They take Dungeon Run, they take Arena matchmaking, they take Battlegrounds MMR, and they're like, all right, we've got a game mode, which is awesome, by the way. I don't want this to be seen as negative because I want my bundles. No, because because I think it's super fun. I actually said, Zeddy said that he wanted a Dungeon Run PvP, but that he didn't expect to get it. And I was like, oh, I would also love that, but I don't expect to get it. And then we got it, so...
That reminds me, since you brought it up, we were talking about this pre-show. Would you like to tell the story about why you'll never get any pre-release bundles or codes to give away? This is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Gonna mute.
So if anyone at Blizzard is listening to this, just send me the script and I will read it off for bundles. Whatever I gotta do, I just let me know. Because I did have to give away a bundle courtesy of my mom last time around. So shout out mom, but
Shut up, Mom.
no shout out
Not
Blizzard.
concerned, Mom.
Not concerned, mom. Though if he gave me a bundle, I would also give that away. So yeah, I played Ixar on ladder, and this was very recently after they changed Quest Mage from 6 spells to 8 spells. And people will call me a Quest Mage one trick. They just haven't watched me long enough. I just play whatever's good. but I was playing a lot of Quest Mage, and I kind of drove myself crazy playing it for like 6 months straight, because that's what you had to do to stay at the top ranks. So that being said, I played Ixar, and I don't remember how the game went. Didn't matter anyway. I added him afterwards. He accepted, and I carried on a pretty normal conversation, like GG. Uh, and then all of a sudden, I hit him with the "Why didn't you nerf Quest Mage?" because the common sentiment was, and perhaps isn't now, but was at the time, that they didn't touch Quest Mage hard enough. And I would argue that in the current meta, they didn't touch Quest Mage hard enough, because people just kept playing it like nothing happened. And yeah, it was a little worse. It did end up being worse than we had thought at the time, but it was really frustrating to see that deck be good for like 5 months straight, and it's only deck people played at top ranks. To go from that to being the only deck people play at top ranks, but occasionally they mix in aggro, and that's also a coin flip, that didn't feel very good. So I was frustrated. I said that to Ixar. I still mean it, but I don't mean any disrespect to those at Blizzard. If they have some packs or some bundles they'd like me to give away, my DMs are open, and I like your game most of the time. And I will say the script, just send it to me before.
Oh god, that's good. That's good. Oh man. Hey, so we got one other kind of big announcement with the new game mode stuff.
Quite big.
So a full rework of the progression and rewards kind of revamp. There's an achievement system and a bunch of new stuff. Also, real quick before we get to that, I think I forgot to bring it up earlier. There's a couple pre-order options. So the ones that we're giving away, it's the 45 packs, the legendary, the card back, and the access to duels. And then there's like the mega bundle or whatever they call it, which includes 80 packs, the N'Zoth card back, a golden legend, access to duels. It includes 5 golden Darkmoon Fair packs, which is kind of cool. And also, my favorite part of all of this is the N'Zoth hero portrait for the Warlock.
Oh, is it Rogue?
It's Rogue doesn't get hero. They don't get different ones.
Wait, I've been on the show for 3 months, and we still haven't gotten a Rogue. Continue.
Actually, so I love this, by the way. It's beautiful, and for my favorite class, I'm very happy. But let me show you this actually, and I think this is something that we will discuss at some point with Goliath the Dwarf on a lore episode. Is as part of the new progression system rewards revamp. It includes a bunch of this is kind of from when we talked about the what do you call the survey they all sent out, and this is the in-game, like the skins and stuff. But they've got new skins for all 10 classes. And what we found out is that these came from the World of Warcraft. I don't remember what they're called at this point, but it's in our Discord. But basically, these are all different skins from World of Warcraft for all 10 classes, including Rogue. Rogue finally gets one. But they look pretty cool. We'll see. So it's definitely, there's new in-game cosmetic. And apparently they upgrade, right? So this achievement system, there are achievements, and some of them are goofy, like, you played 5 Warlock spells, you get 5 achievement points. But as you start to progress and get, a certain number of, achievement points or whatever, you like unlock stuff.
What's one thing that I feel like Hearthstone has been lacking for your more casual player that likes to collect things and whatnot, is there isn't a lot of collectible cosmetic things, right?
Especially if you play Rogue.
Yeah. You can grind and you can get your 500 and your 1,000 win portraits, and then the other ones are locked behind paywalls, right? So with this, you can earn them like you would in other games like Fortnite or whatever. Like you can level up and you can slowly unlock these, and people can, feel like they've earned something. Like I know my kid, when he plays, his game, because he's obsessed with Fortnite, whenever he unlocks a new skin, he's super stoked about it, right? And it's free because he leveled up and he got there and he got it. And so for a lot of people that like that kind of thing, they can now do that instead of paying the whatever it is, $10 to buy Magni. Right? I mean, I did that.
Right, so did I, but I feel you. Now, something new for this as well is they're going to have cosmetic coins, and so that'll be pretty cool, especially in gold.
How do you earn that?
I don't recall.
I think it's like maxing out or something like that.
But I think it was also seasonal, right? Or one new coin per expansion or something like that.
Yeah,
right.
I do know the entire track is 50 levels, right? So you can make it to the very top, and then afterwards it doesn't stop at like the regular rewards stop at 50, but every level beyond 50 you get 150 gold.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
once you get to 50, like your grinding, if you want to, isn't over. You can get 150 gold per level afterwards. So you could just keep grinding the levels for gold. So you could potentially get way more gold for the next expansion if you're, somebody that is a grinder of the game.
I see. Well, and then the other thing, I think that they were saying there's some reward for what is it? I don't know. Is it collecting 135 cards during the expansion?
Oh, that's how you get it. The 135 gets you the coin.
Oh, it's no. So there's 2 coins per set. 1 coin from collecting the cards, and then 1 coin from the progression system. There we go.
Okay.
Anyways, but hey, it's stuff, right? It's pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too, and it's something new. I mean, frankly, we haven't had anything like new in a long time, and so just the idea of like a UI revamp and the idea of achievements to unlock and in-game cosmetics, which are always cool. Looking at these heroes, like they look super cool. The idea that there's 3 different forms of them, so they start out, in one form, then they get cooler, and then they get really awesome. In the words of Dave Kosak. But they look pretty neat. I like them overall. That Warlock one especially. So
I don't know too much about it, but your little profile screen that you have when you click in game where it shows like what highest key you got. They're going to show a lot more stats.
Oh yeah, yes. So yeah, they mentioned that too, and I don't have graphics for all this stuff, but I recommend watching the reveal stream with Kibler. They did a preview of a profile screen, and it'll have your ranked wins, wild and standard and arena and duels and all that, but it'll have a bunch of stats, I think, and it'll have a handful of stuff on it. It sounds like they're going to keep expanding the that profile page to try to include more data. So,
did they mention if
I like this a lot.
Can be made public or if it's just for yourself?
I don't know. I think they had mentioned. Let me see. I've got it up here.
Because I was just like thinking, like back in the day when you played like OG StarCraft, and you clicked on your buddy, you could see, their profile. You could see their wins and their losses and everything like that, and what they had in their profile. I don't know. It's almost like feels bad though, and I don't know if they want to hurt anybody's feelings, because now you can click on your friend and be like, oh, that guy's like only ever got to bronze 5.
I mean, it looks like it's.
I don't want to display that.
That's funny. It looks like it's in game though, so I don't know.
That was in game too on StarCraft. It was in game.
Huh. Yeah, so it will show the current rank in both constructed, standard, and wild, current battlegrounds rating, current duels rating, total number of wins in arena, class levels and number of wins per class, next card reward for classes under level 60, and progress towards golden portrait for classes at level 60.
I think it's cool because it replaces the My Month in Hearthstone, so at least there's something to look at.
I mean, they said at some point they wanted to do those, but I don't know. Also, this says that all of this stuff is going live November 11th or November 12th. It looks like there's also a new quest system revamp. Quests now awarding XP on the reward track. They've also added weekly quests. They can be re-rolled. You'll get 3 new weekly quests to complete, which are a little bit more difficult than average daily quests. You can re-roll them. They will also, they said that now when they give you legendary quests, they will not override your daily quest. There'll be special events.
One thing I really took away from this was they said if you miss your daily quest, you're not just out of luck on that. Like, you can make up for it later. So they said you can sort of focus on when within the expansion you can play. So say you take a week off and you missed a bunch of 60 gold quests. They stated in the reveal stream that you can make up for that later. Like, they'll add them in at some other point. I don't know how exactly they're going to do it, but like, you go on vacation, you're not, screwed because you missed all those quests. You can make up for it afterwards somehow. Like, maybe they'll double up on gold, like, or experience. I'm not sure how, but they're because that's one thing that always bugged me, right? Like, I'll want to go to bed and I know I have 3 quests sitting there and I want to go to bed, but it's like, oh,
you don't want to lose your quest.
I gotta go clear at least a quest before I go to sleep. Get up. Go do it. Like,
Another thing is, and this is for like, there's like 3 players that are like, oh yeah, that too. If you play on other servers, and this is also really useful for building a collection on other servers too. One thing I've wanted for a long time from Blizzard, and maybe they listen to this. So they don't listen to me, but if they happen to hear this, I want, if you finish top 100 legend, you get a golden pack. Okay, it's not going to bankrupt Blizzard, but please just give me something. Maybe top 200 gets a golden pack because it's leaderboard. You know, in Wild, we don't get anything. Like you know what I get? I get 1 point on a third-party website that ranks everybody by number of total finishes. That's what I get. I want a golden pack for that. But this is really useful for us players who are just grinding leaderboards for no reason. We get more stuff on other servers because I'm not going to log into Asia every day. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do it. But am I going to play enough in a season to max out the battle pass on Asia? Well, if winning counts, then I sure hope so. Same with EU, and also on NA, it's better, Like, yes, I log on to Hearthstone every day.
I'm excited for this on the multiple accounts thing because I feel like I'm always trying to keep up. Like, when I get home from work, I log into one account, I'll clear quests, I go into the other one, I clear quests, I go into the other one, I clear quests, and like it feels like it's work. Like, going to every single one. Like, I could take one weekend and just play EU, I can max out the whole stupid track, right? Like, I feel like that's pretty cool. Like, you could do it all sort of like you could focus a certain point of time to like attack a server if you wanted to, right? I just think it's better when you're playing on multiple servers. You can focus like a certain amount of time. You don't feel like you've missed out on something because you didn't log into Asia this week. Right. Yeah,
that's and for me, like, I do log a lot of time playing on servers, but personally, I don't play for quests. I don't even play for the Tavern Brawl. There'll be entire weeks where I just won't do it. If it doesn't look good, I won't do it for the pack. So I am looking forward to a system that just rewards like me logging on and grinding in some fashion, and also, I'm looking forward to, if you want free gold, this new mode as the arena entry fee, I'll probably put out a guide on my YouTube channel or something. That will be free gold. I'm telling you, people are calling it random. It's not random. If you have wild cards and a brain, that is free gold. And I'll teach people how to do it. Yes. All right, then you're in. Then you're in.
Yeah.
Infinite
I'm gonna be
gold.
rich. Yes.
Yeah, you can farm like 100 gold per hour. It's like 10% as good as going to work, but if you work for minimum wage,
Oh, that's good. That's good. Hey, by the way, it looks like one of the unlockables each month will be a golden legendary, which is pretty cool. We do see on this roadmap here that Silas Darkmoon golden legendary will be available. So, I don't know, something interesting. So,
So I was gonna say, there's also a difference because there is the quote unquote battle pass version that they're gonna come out with. There's a complete, like, anybody can do this, but they did speak of a battle pass version where you get like bonus XP and sort of extra rewards. I don't know if that comes with if you pre-purchase the expansion or what.
it comes with when you pay money.
Yeah, so there is a bit of a difference, but if you were completely free to play, this is full of rewards anyways. So
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited about it, and I don't mind dropping $20 on this or whatever it is.
yeah, I don't even know if you have to. I don't like.
The battle pass, you will, but we'll learn more about it later.
I think it comes with the Giga bundle, does it not?
That's what I'm thinking. The big, yeah, the mega bundle when you buy, because that gives you the battle pass for Battlegrounds, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I don't.
chat's saying it doesn't, but I
It
heard
does. Well,
they seem
maybe
to
not.
imply it was cosmetic only. I'm not the type of person to pay for like a cosmetic only battle pass, so I don't I didn't get the impression that you have to pay extra to get like more like packs or gold or anything like that outside of the mega bundle, which is enough. So yeah, it seems fine, but there's really like so much information in the announcement that I would have said if I was in charge, I'm like, this is too much, guys. I'm like, just spread this out. Like, people aren't going to remember. If I was in charge at Blizzard, I didn't need to tell you that much. I could have saved a lot of it, but it's made me really excited. I had not played Hearthstone pretty much at all this week. I took like 2 consecutive days off of streaming, which for me is crazy. I never do that. And I just wasn't enjoying Wild, but it's given me a new mode to play. It's
Awesome.
given me a terrible card to mess around with.
And
It's
also, we got an amazing intro of Brian Kibler riding a statue at the beginning.
yes, it was funny. It was funny, the announcement. Like,
I didn't see it.
Oh man, it was good. It was actually. I recommend watching it. In fact, I'll probably go watch it again because, like Jack was saying, there was so much. There was so much of an information dump. The part that I fast forwarded through was Kibler and Crip playing the dungeon run or with the duels.
I started streaming when that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't.
didn't watch that part either. I watched the first match and I was sort of done. I'm like, I'll just play it myself.
What I wish though, and maybe it's just because this is in beta. Like I would love to watch, or I would love to play duels against friends, like you can with Battlegrounds. Because right now it's like you play against like some rando, like in arena, and it would be really cool to play against a friend or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. But there was so much information that like I feel I need to watch it again.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Can you challenge a friend who has it in early access?
I don't know. I haven't tried.
Okay.
You can't. There's no way to play someone in a duel because, like, there's no way to play your friend in arena. You can't do it.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
You can play a friend in Tavern Brawl.
I don't know. They must have some way to do it. If although I suppose if they just put Kibler and Crip were like the only 2 people on that server that they were naturally going to queue into each other, right?
What
But
they
I see
do-
what Jack is saying, because if I queue against Jack for this mode, it's not like we're gonna play against each other until one of us loses 3 times. Well, until I lose 3 times. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the thing, like on your friends list, like you can go and you can click, like I can click on Mike Lowe and go, I challenge you to Tavern Brawl, or I challenge you to Battlegrounds, right? Like,
There's no
imagine
way.
if they added duels to it. I don't know if they will or not.
I don't think it's feasible for them to do that. I'm not saying there's no way for them to do it. I could imagine a way that it would play out, but just rather that they won't, right? The same way that they won't have a friend. Like, yeah, you could make a mode where you like go against your friend and you both draft an arena deck and you just play each other until one person loses. But
They've had 5 years to do that and they haven't.
yeah, not only have they not, but also like I'm hearing that and I'm like, that sounds boring. You know, like you play one game versus your friend with the deck you made, and then you're like, oh, his deck is better, and then you have to suffer through 2 more losses.
That's what I thought about on the stream. What like immediately when it was Kibler versus Crip, I'm like, well, whoever wins first is probably like just gonna win. Like whoever had the better deck. That's how I thought about it. I'm like, I don't see how this is quite interesting. Like in Arena, you move on. Like, wow, I just got steamrolled. Next, right?
If anyone is curious how they do that, by the way, pretty much what every dev will do is they'll give you a separate installation of the game that connects you to a specific server where it's just you and the other guy.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
then
that
they-
makes sense. So that when
they
you
change.
queue, it's like there's only one possible person you can queue into. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes
And
sense.
also so they don't have to release that stuff into the regular game so people can't data mine it. They'll just send you like it's identical to Hearthstone, but it just puts you on another server and has that stuff on it.
Interesting.
The reveal stream overall though, it was really well done. You know, there are times in which any person who plays Wild at a high level will just not have fun with the game. That's inevitable.
Yep.
But the thing is if Blizzard could have done anything this year to make things better, I would say almost everything they've done.
Oh yeah, it's been a good year. It's been a good year.
Because there are a lot of things that they feel are core about Wild. Like, they will never change Wild as much as they change Standard.
No.
Right? They've said it, and people don't want it. A lot of players who want it realize that a lot of people really don't want it. So, in terms of keeping with their design philosophy, they're doing a great job. You know, Wild is always going to be definitionally a mode that makes you go crazy if you play it too much against people who really care.
Yeah.
And if you really care. But outside of that, you know, they've done everything that I would have wanted them to do. So, you know, again, please give me a bundle, but shout out Blizzard.
See, that's the one thing that we
That's
have
funny.
to always remember, right? Is Wild is supposed to be a place where you can go and play all your old crazy cards. And so when we get a little serious about Wild and we want all these balance changes and everything that are going to cater to us, it's not always going to happen 99% of the time, right? Unless something is completely out of control. It's supposed to be a place where you can go and you can play all your old cards. You're not going to be balancing it like Standard. It's supposed to be Wild.
And I don't want it to be Standard. I think everybody who really enjoys the format agrees. Like, they want it to be this sort of thing where it's crazy, right? I've got so many games that I've won because I have the crazy imagination to come up with a situation where the game isn't over, right? And maybe that's the case in current Standard meta, but most of the time that's never been the case in Standard. But when I'm playing Quest Mage and I say, okay, let's, you know, and you could have some epic music start playing in the background like I'm about to rally some troops. I'm like, we need to draw Sorcerer's Apprentice off the top. We need to play Evocation. It needs to give us Ice Block, Frost Nova, Mirror Image, you know, Magic Trick.
Yeah.
And the Book of Specters into 3 Giants. And then you just do it, you know, and that's not something that you'll ever see in Standard. But there's no better feeling, right? You can't get that sort of excitement anywhere else.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree 1,000%. That's so true.
Also, it's much easier. I like the small number next to my name that I couldn't get in Standard.
That's true. That's true. Do you guys have anything else about this achievement system or anything before we get into we got one last little bit of news and then talking about our deck of the week?
I don't think so. I think I'm done with the progression system myself.
All right, then I'm gonna pass the mic to Mike about this tournament that we're doing this weekend.
Yes. So let me grab this link in Battlefy. So Sunday at 3:00, we'll be starting the our first tournament for Born to Be Wild. We're calling it the 2020 Halloween Bash. We're calling it that because the cards that are eligible for this tournament are Legendary, Epic, and Common. That's right. Legendary, Epic, and Common. No rares, no basics. So I'm really curious to see what kind of crazy madness comes this weekend. I want to use other words, but we're PG. Yeah,
Purple and orange, purple, orange, and white. Right? That's pretty good. I like the theme. Otherwise, we'd see a bunch of Reno Priest mirror matches, right?
Yep, that's all you see. That's all you would see.
So it's this weekend. This Sunday. It's 12:00 noon Pacific, 3:00 p.m. Eastern. There's links in the chat right now. There will be links in the show notes. If I can get them out quick enough, there will be links in our Discord. There are already links in the Discord. I think there's links on our Twitter. So yeah, there's already a handful of people registered. But if anyone wants to play, I'm still working on prizes. I'd like to try to get something. I don't have anything like guaranteed, but anyway, this should be fun. And if nothing else, I think the folks in our community have been asking for a while, like, oh, we like that idea. So this is something, and I'm not quite sure how often we'll do it, but we'll see if there's people interested. And I think,
I was gonna say, for me, I'll put in the time, and I can at least do these once a month. I know there's a lot of people out there who ask for wild tournaments. I know this Sunday and the timing doesn't work out for some people, but we will put these on once a month. I will make sure to dedicate my time to make sure that these go out and these happen. There may not be prizes every month. We'll try to make that happen. Try to work with some people to get that going. But I'm willing to do any kind of different tournaments, restrictions, any kind of crazy lists people want to do. There are a lot of creative people out there who have different ideas. So anybody who has an idea, come into the Discord, and I'd be glad to discuss it in a healthy way. I know there are some people before kind of bumping elbows and pushing each other over to get their idea out there. So I had to kind of tone it down and just switch what this tournament's going to be from the original idea. But I'd love to get more ideas from people and keep these things going. Definitely.
I should give you a ton of ideas on some interesting formats for wild tournaments.
Okay.
I think not many people actually compete in wild. Really, there's not much competition. I think the only thing that's going right now is the Team Hearth Legends League.
Yep.
League series format.
Yeah, it's super fun. I don't know if you guys have talked about it on the podcast before.
We've Mike's in it.
I've been in it at one point.
Yeah, Craig and I played we played the first season, and we got to the playoffs, and then we lost in the playoffs. But yeah, that was it was pretty fun. And so yeah, I'm kicking myself.
Yeah, so
I
started this season. I had to take a step back, but I'm planning to come back in the future, definitely. But yeah, THL is awesome.
I'm pretty sure your boy is number 1 in the Wild League right now.
Oh yeah.
It's honestly very easy. Every week I just look at my opponent and I just counterpick every one of their decks, and it just works because the good players bring the same thing over and over. You just counterpick and build around a ban, and it's like you've done more work than most players. So I'm 5-1, and it's because I brought a really bad lineup last week, and I got super high rolled by an aggro noob. It happens.
Yeah.
So
good for him. For her.
Or them.
I mean, Jack.
It happens.
Yeah, dude, you should totally play.
I gotta say real quick. Last season, when it was just 3-man teams, me, Doc, and Sheep, when we came across Memnarch's team and Jack, we leading up to that, we definitely were the underdogs going into the end of the season. Every week we literally had to triple train because we were just we're not notable, we're not top names, but we have some skill, so we got to basically play with little errors because we're not gonna like outthink them, outskill them. Like you know what I'm saying, Jack. So like we basically had to make the least amount of errors to even win that series. So like that was just crazy. Like playing you guys this past summer, like that was probably my favorite like time to play Hearthstone. Period. Like somehow I got to win against Memnarch. He might have let me win. I don't know, man.
Memnarch's really good at throwing his THL games. I'm sorry, but there's so many weeks where he's like, "Oh, lost 1 and 3." It's like, again, bro, this is not an incident. This is a pattern. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's in chat right now. Memnarch, do you want to respond?
Uh-oh.
He knows it. He knows it, dude.
Helping your friends.
Oh, that's funny.
Someone
That's
had to
funny.
say something. Our team.
Well, this should be pretty fun. So if anybody wants to, one thing that we didn't discuss was that the plan was to stream the top 8, and I think Mike and I will be casting, so it should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Should be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, it'll be great. And then right after that, I'll be streaming some Hearthstone duels. You know, baby.
Nice.
Sorry, shameless plug. Sorry, continue the show.
Yeah, no, that's about it. I mean, if anyone wants any more information about it, again, it's in our Discord. It's on our Twitter. You can hit up me. You can hit up Mike. We can point you in the right direction. Hydra, I don't know. Are you gonna be around for this?
I'm definitely gonna try to tune in for sure. I don't know if I'll be able to. I might be able to tune in and cast, but it's at noon, so we'll see. I know my wife has a friend that's going to be visiting that afternoon. So,
does she like Hearthstone?
Yeah, Nate's trying to get the viewership.
I'm playing. She can cast. We'll trade.
maybe I'll steal. I bought my wife a gaming laptop recently. I'll maybe get a Hearthstone on it, and maybe I'll hide out in the bedroom and.
That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought her a laptop, and then we just had our anniversary, by the way. So
Congrats.
she bought me a gaming chair. You can't really see it because I don't know, the green screen sort of messes with it, but like I got my feet up, I got a vibrator. I mean,
Whoa.
Where's the beep when we need it?
Yeah, we need that.
You got a what?
I'm just saying I got a pretty cool wife that bought me a nice present. I revealed it. So I got this.
Can't be too safe.
I got a really big.
Oh,
thanks.
there it is.
I pressed the mute button on my mic, which mutes the beep instead. They're right next to each other. It's a real
And it
problem.
vibrates so much. Anyway,
Oh, that's too funny.
yeah, no, it's pretty sweet. My wife's great. She got me a nice chair. She knows I like to play my games and do my show, so
Hey, that's cool. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
How about we talk about this sweet deck that Jack is bringing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was looking at this. I was like, oh, cool, it's Reno lock. And I was like, oh. This is like hate lock. I don't know what else to call it, right? This is like, I'm going to counter Q everybody. So this is, I was calling it a treachery list. I saw you were calling it like Fell Reaver, right? And
Yeah.
so there is some spicy combos in here the more I look at it. I'm going to read through the list real quick because a good portion of our audience listen to the audio version of the podcast. We will put the list in the show notes and the website and everywhere else. But for those people purely listening, here's the list. It's a Reno deck, so these are all one of each card. Raise Dead, Kobold Librarian, Mistress of Mixtures, Mortal Coil, Plague of Flames, Sir Finley Murgleton, Tour Guide, Unstable, Fellbolt, Defile, Dirty Rat, Gnome Feratu, Galaka Crawler, Grizzled Wizard, Zephyrs the Great, Bran Bronzebeard, Dark Skies, Treachery, Zola the Gorgon, Kazakis, Voidcaller, Fell Reaver, Emperor Thorison, Reno Jackson, Lord Godfrey, Valdris, Felgor, Archwitch Willow, Enhanced Dreadlord, Mal'Ganis, Voidlord, and Blood Reaver Gul'dan. Yeah, this is Spicy Meatball, Jack.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what else to say. How come? Hey, how come you didn't put? Um. Oh, never mind. No. Obviously, no. It's all here. It's all here. So I see. There's a couple pretty crazy combos in here. In particular, you've got the Sir Finley Grizzled Wiz, so you can swap their hero power if you want to hate on the Reno Priest a little bit. We do. We've got. You want to make them. Hey, somebody plays Polkelt. Hey, maybe I'll brand Nosferatu. That's get them to discard a couple key cards.
Yep.
But the real spice here, I think, is the Fell Reaver Treachery combo. So you want to give them, presumably, right? You give them the Fell Reaver. Well, you play Emperor Thorison first, right? You get all these 1 mana cost cards down to 0. You would play the Fell Reaver, the Treachery, to give it to them, and then make them discard or mill their entire deck. It sounds pretty good.
So I've got a lot of clips on my YouTube of me just basically, if you get the right hand and you just discount on 8 or something like that, before turn 10, you can just delete your opponent's deck, right? They can have 18 cards, it doesn't matter, they're gone.
Dang.
And it really doesn't matter how many cards they have. If you delete a third plus of your opponent's deck, anything from 9 to, what would it be, 15 cards, it's really hard to lose after you do that to somebody and stabilize on board. So basically, it's just the premise that you have a bunch of late game win conditions versus every deck. And also it carries the early game because it contains the exact same early game as any Reno lock would.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a little bit more, this is kind of crazy, but there's so little mid-range in WoW that you really can just go bottom end, top end. And that's it. Q-Block is the only mid-range, and Q-Block gives us a little bit of trouble, but we're a Reno deck. We can just high roll with Kazakus, Zephyrs, whatever. If we just make it to 10, we're going to delete your Gul'dan. We're going to delete your Mal'Ganis. We're going to delete everything. It's not going to be there. You can... And another thing is that this deck gets to run Valdris. And other Reno lock decks don't get to run Valdris because when you play it, all of a sudden you're massively behind in fatigue. You tap the whole game and then you draw 4. Okay, well now you're 10 cards behind in fatigue. So if you ever make it there, you're going to lose. You can try and stabilize, and sometimes you do with Gul'dan, but this deck means that you can Valdris, you can draw till the very last card if you want, because your opponent's not going to have a deck to play with, and you'll have everything. And then also, I just love tech cards. So we have pretty much every tech card in the book here. We don't have weapon destruction because I just don't need it at my rank. I don't see Secret Mage. Yeah, I see Q-Block sometimes, but whatever. I guess. It's hard to win if they get Skull early, and you're not always going to have the weapon destruction. If you wanted to change out cards, right now I'm trying Glacial Shard, I think the 1 mana freeze instead of Mortal Coil, because one thing I found is that it's very difficult to play the Fell Reaver combo if you can't guarantee that it's not going to hit you in the face next turn. So Glacial Shard is another way instead of having Plague, right? Sometimes Plague is just such a good card that you have to play it before or you haven't found it yet. That way you don't need Plague to play the Fell Reaver combo. So the Fell Reaver stays up, but it's frozen. Mortal Coil's good, but Glacial Shard is probably better. And also you can do cool, funny things against it with Kingsbane.
Yeah.
There's so much aggro druid on ladder that we play Galaka Crawler, and also for the rogues. Yeah, it just contains a little bit of everything. And the thing about Wild is that the game's already coming down to if you're going to draw the right stuff anyway, so you might as well just play insta-wins versus every deck, and then hard mull for your insta-wins, and then just tap every turn until you get them. It's a silly concept, but this is that concept taken to the absolute extreme, and it works. When I first created the deck and people didn't know what they were playing against, and it might be more fun if we play this on one of your guys' accounts, because people know what to expect from me, and it's much less interesting if people know what you're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is one thing that I love about Reno decks is they really do benefit from the element of surprise. If you don't want to play Fel Reaver Treachery, and I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you wanted to play something else, you can actually play the old Leroy Faceless Power Overwhelming combo.
Yeah, Gold Daniel and I were talking about that last
Oh.
night. We were
And it's
talking about
not-
it last night. It's
And the funny thing is, it's not good, but it is unexpected, and that counts for good.
yeah.
That's good though.
Like if your opponent literally like cannot predict it, then it's good. So I have so many games where people don't feel scared at 22 versus Reno Lock, and then all of a sudden you just kill them with Leroy P.O. Zephyrs into Wind Fury on 9. They just die, and they had no idea they were even close to being in trouble. You can surprise people with that too. So this deck definitely benefits from the element of surprise. When I first played it, I went like 90% win rate over an entire night, and I had like a 12-game win streak. I linked the tweet in chat, but
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, I see it there.
I went 15 and 2 with it. 15 and 2 with it on my first night. I went straight from 320 legend to 96 legend.
Nice. But no, I agree. I think if people, like you were saying, especially at top legend, like you're a known quantity, we'll jam it with Mike or Hydra probably, and I don't know, like where Mike, or you're on somewhere between D5 and D3, right around there. Hydra, where are we at? Like right a little bit before D5.
I'm at D6.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I might not be able to play because I don't have 4 of these cards.
Okay. Hydra, do you have them?
Yeah, I have everything.
Which you
But I
can,
wanna-
we can jam in yours.
I might need to.
Aramorn's
craft
calling
these.
it Swiss Army hate lock. That's pretty funny.
Swiss Army.
This is pretty cool. It essentially is. It's very versatile too.
I just called this deck Jack Warlock. I just want people to know that I made it, honestly. Just an ego thing, so I called it Jack Warlock.
That's
and
pretty funny.
I've actually played a bunch of games against it, which sounds cool, but like, oh my god, if you could ever choose a deck to invent and then not want to play against it, this is the one. The mirror match is not fun. It is not a fun mirror match. And you know what? It's not fun to play against as any other deck either. It wins the zero-sum game of fun in Hearthstone. There's only so much fun to go around, and I'm gonna take all of it.
I'm
That's all.
excited to see this.
Yeah, me too.
Is there anything about the deck? I mean, so for the folks listening, each week we have a deck of the week. We will talk about it here on the show, and then after the show, the main part of the show is over, we'll go on the Wild Ladder and do kind of the co-op portion of the game, record it for YouTube, and do a sort of deck spotlight co-op, if you will. And so I highly recommend those of you watching or listening to this to stay tuned for the other part. If you're an audio listener, check out our YouTube page and watch it there, so that because it's one thing to talk about a deck, but it's something different when you see it in action. And so it should be pretty fun. Jack, is there anything about this deck that is not evident by like looking at the cards? Like you would ask, well, like, why is that there? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would just make a couple notes about like how to play the deck, because
yeah,
a lot of people are going to get it wrong. And so the very important thing to emphasize is when I said, like, I put in one of everything so that you can hard mull for that. That's how you play this deck. Like, you don't just take what the mulligan gives you. You look for what you want and you toss everything else.
So what do you
You
want?
will play this deck much better if you have that attitude, and honestly, almost every single deck in Wild plays that way, whether you realize it or not. And more people need that attitude in general, but this deck, it works for me because I always do this, right? That's the way I play Wild, and it's a big part of my success because it's not my raw calculation or the fact that I never make misplays. You know, I miss lethal all the time on stream. It happens all the time. But you'll never see me miss a mulligan where I know what my opponent is playing. I will never mulligan wrong. And that's super worthwhile. So pay very close attention to your mulligan because the game's probably over when you're done with that.
Is the mulligan in this deck, is it matchup specific, or are you just looking for your specific combo pieces?
It's super matchup specific. So it's so detailed that like I couldn't give you a rundown right now, and even if I wanted and had the time to do it, I still couldn't because I'd have to like think about it and write it down. But like against Priest, for example, against Priest, there's only 4 cards in the entire deck that you're ever going to keep. You're going to keep Gnome Feratu, Finley, Wizard, and Zeph. That's it. Every other card is a toss, no matter what. Because that's the way you win the game, right? When they have their Priest hero power up, you're going to die if you don't delete it instantly. But if they play Polkelt, you delete the Anduin, right? And then Zeph, you use Zeph ramp so that you have more mana to draw faster. So like you're not keeping the Zeph for something later. You're keeping the Zeph to play Wild Growth on 3 specifically against Priest. That's the big one on ladder, and that's going to win people a lot of games. And if you're playing this deck, then you probably hate Priest anyway. So that's the big advice that I would give. And then like the rest of the deck should be pretty self-evident. Another thing I do is that if you are an experienced Reno Lock player, you're really used to holding on to your combo pieces that aren't Fel Reaver Treachery. For me, I play a lot of Reno Lock. I've got rank 1 legend Reno Lock, which is like I hate to do this, but it's very impressive because it sucks. It's not like a super meta deck. So in old Reno Lock, you hold on to Gnome Feratu like a game, and then at the end you delete it to get back ahead in Fatigue. Not with this version. Everything else, just throw out like a madman. Especially like Tempo Bran on 3, because your opponent's gonna themselves when they see it. You know, they overreact. So feel free to just throw out combo pieces willy-nilly, except for the Fel Reaver Treachery, because that's so winning that you can throw everything else in expectation of that.
Sure. Okay. Well, yeah, okay, I appreciate that. And I think there's some cards here that, like, I mean, the deck, like, someone called it Swiss Army. It's very versatile, right? I could play Zola on just about anything. Hey, you want an extra Zephyrs? You want an extra Kazakus? You want an extra Void Call? Whatever it is, like, you want an extra Reno Jackson? Whatever.
And typically, you would have been bound in the past to only use it on Gnome Feratu against most decks.
Right.
And if you used it on something else, you were giving up a big combo that you had. Now, you literally just have to discount Fel Reaver and Treachery, and then your cards are the combo. Just any cards, like just the cards that you don't want. You know, you're not going to delete their hero power this game, or you're towards the end of your deck. Okay, just play Finley. You know, just play Grizzled Wizard. You don't need it. Whatever. And then their deck is gone. The one big weakness of this deck, though, and this is something that you have to be careful about, and it's just a weakness of the deck, is that the Fel Reaver Treachery combo uses so many cards that most of the time, like, you would be real surprised how much tempo wild decks can generate out of one hand and, like, 6 turns until they die of fatigue. A ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
So, you know, just be wary of when you're comboing them. It may be better to hold off like 2 turns if it means you're much more likely to stabilize against the hand that they have. Just because of the crazy amount of resources that you have to dump to delete an entire deck. It's just the way it is, you know.
Cool.
Very cool. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. I mean, you almost have sort of your your high-end demons with your Gul'dan as like a almost like an alternate win con here. So
This deck actually works without any demons whatsoever.
that's funny.
If you take all of the demon cards and replace them with Pull Celt and a bunch of early game removals, it's not quite as good, but it's much more focused on the combo if you care about that. Yeah, I tried it and it's not quite as competitive, but it's very funny. You can do it. Because if you remove the top end stuff, Valdris actually just draws you the whole combo after Pull Celt.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Sweet.
Hey, in the Discord, someone had wanted us to ask you, and this is completely off topic, but how bad do you think the evocation nerf hits Quest Mage? Since you're since you're the king of Quest Mage.
Yeah. So you don't play it in the deck anymore. Reno Priest or Quest Mage. I'm pretty sure you don't play it. You know, just too expensive. Like by itself, it sucks. Like if you don't have a sorcerer's, it sucks. And if you have a sorcerer's, it's like really bulky on your hand and mana without being super redeeming for it. I think, you know, sometimes randomly generated, you'll play it, but it knocks the deck down quite a bit because a lot of people didn't realize and they didn't play this way, but Evocation was so good that you actually kept it in every matchup, first or second, no matter what. And it was one of the only cards in the deck that you did that. Your 2-drops, obviously, and Cyclone, I think, were the only ones that also fell under that category. Which means it was a very, very powerful card. And now it's not. So the deck takes a big hit. I'd say it's bottom tier 2 now. I have a definitive wild meta report on my channel. This really doesn't change that much, these recent updates, but I'm probably going to do another meta report soon. But I'll play around with it some more to see if the meta changed. Like, people like to counter Quest Mage with, like, Priest, and so, like, maybe if there's less Quest Mage, there's less counters going around, but it's such a hard deck to counter that it kind of exists in its own position in the meta, regardless of what other people are playing. And there's so much aggro going around that I can't imagine it's much better than, like, low to mid tier 2. And in most players' hands, not even that, unfortunately.
Okay, cool.
Very cool. All right. Well, I think we're pretty much at towards the end of the show where we can start wrapping things up and then take this for a little spin. So let's sort of wrap things up again. And I would say, Jack, a big giant thank you to you for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. It's been a blast. It's good getting to know you better and chatting and learning from you. So yeah, thank you very much for taking time out of your night to hang out with us. Where can people find you if they're looking for your content?
Yeah, so whatever platform you're looking for, if you just look up JRHSK8, you'll find me. But also I'm like kind of big enough these days that you can Google like Jack Hearthstone and you'll find it too. So, you know, like whatever you feel like searching for, you can find me. The big ones, if I wanted people to follow me, would be Twitch and YouTube. And those will redirect you to the rest of the stuff anyway. But thank you guys so much for having me on. You know, I like to be involved in the wild community, and I'm so glad that I could give you this YouTube advice. And yeah, I will be so ecstatic, so giddy, like a child, if I see that you follow my advice in any way whatsoever. Because nobody has. Like, I'm serious. 0 people. And I've told this to, like, 20 plus. No doubt. And so, the fact that you asked, I'm very excited. And, you know, I mean, what a great time in Hearthstone to be on the show. You know, if you had me on last week, I'd be like, well, you know, meta's 100% Reno Priest and aggro. The game's trash, you know, like, ask me when the expansion is released. But this week, no better time. So, yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So for everyone else, hey, Mike, where can people find you if they're looking to watch your content or interact with you?
Yeah, so just like Jack said, I'm getting pretty big now. Just go to Google, type in Mike Lowe. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Not whatsoever.
I tried that earlier. It didn't work, unfortunately.
No, it's a bunch of like white dudes and police officers. It's not me. Nah. All right, so you can catch me here every Friday night like normal. Born to Wild podcast live 9 p.m. Eastern. Catch me on Twitter at Mike Lowe TV. I set up a new link tree, so right on my Twitter, click that link tree link, and it'll have links to all the stuff that I'm doing, currently involved in. But one thing I want to push, catch me on twitch.tv/Mike Lowe TV. I am a Jack Harris approved stream, so definitely some wild content you want to come check out. If Jack is on, I'll send you to go watch him. Normally, I try to raid him if I'm on that late, but check me out there.
Very cool. Hydra, what about you? Where can people find you?
Well, you can always find me here every single Friday night doing Born to Be Wild podcast. You can also find me on Twitch and Twitter at Hydralisk_HS. And quick reminder, if anybody wants to play in the tournament, hit up Mr. Mike Lowe. Got that tournament coming up this weekend. So hit him up.
Yep. As for me, I'm the most active on Twitter. You can find me at NateWolfTCG. It's NateWolfeTCG. More importantly, you can find the show and everything show related on our website. It's borntobewildhs.com. Don't forget the HS, or you'll be in for an unpleasant or maybe pleasant surprise. And when you go to the website, again, it's borntobewildhs.com. All of our stuff is there. So we will have we've got links to our YouTube, links to the Discord if you want to interact with the community. You want to interact with us. All of the links are on the website. And again, yes, someone had asked in the chat, are we streaming the tournament this weekend? The answer is yes. We will be streaming it and casting it as well. So it should be a lot of fun. The last thing that I have for you guys, and I did actually want to give a big shout out also to Goliath the Dwarf, who has provided vocals to this week's song. That's pretty exciting. But before we jump into that, as a long-standing tradition, I have to ask you guys a quick question.
And now, Unrelated Advice with Nate Wolf.
And so this question, little to his knowledge, was supplied by Jack. So I'll ask him first. Hey, Jack, why are restaurant burritos better than homemade burritos?
I haven't watched the video. It's probably butter. Anything made in restaurants is covered in butter, which is why it tastes so good. I actually cook at home all the time. I'm lactose intolerant, but I promise you, it's butter.
Hey, the old Paula Deen recipe. Hydra, what do you think? Why are restaurant burritos better than homemade burritos?
I'm just going to go with the grease, man. It's got to be the grease. I make that stuff at home, and it's all way too healthy. The grease is just it's what it's made of.
That's funny. Mike, what do you think?
Jack said it. I worked in food industry for 15 out of my 33 years being alive. Butter pretty much is on a lot of things. Just smother it and just cook it in it, and it's, you know what I'm saying, it's all the flavors, and that's easily it. So I'm just gonna ride Jack's coattail, and it's the butter. Yeah. Yeah.
Wiser words were never spoken, and you heard that on Born to Be Wild.